Your Shitpost Boys podcast episode maybe 13 or 14. I stopped counting a long time ago. I'm Kilo and I'm here with actually a first timer. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Yo, what's going on? I'm Maj. Usually me and a good friend here have a tendency to, go back and forth on particular tech products and like affect tech. I talk about tech. I talk about wrestling, music. Generally, I'm a boring person that's just honored to be on this podcast right now. What's going on, everybody?
What's good? Tell them where they can reach you at because that's an important factor in this too.
That is a very important factor. And me being the loving individual I am, you can find me on Twitter at Maj Hates All. Like it's a complete oxymoron, but MAJHATESALL.
For sure.
And yeah, I just tweet dumb stuff and post memes all the time. So that's basically what I do.
And we got another special guest because my mom's calling for some reason, so we about to put her on for a second. Hey, ma.
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
I'm good, but I'm recording the podcast right now, ma.
All right. I was just saying happy old new year
Happy New
in
Year
the
to you
old
too,
new
ma.
year. Happy old new year in
Basically.
the old. Yeah. What? Roger upstairs?
Yeah, she upstairs.
Okay. I'll FaceTime her for a second.
What's your?
Okay. I was over at Melissa and them for a minute.
I
And
am
then
literally recording right now, ma.
love you. Bye.
Best best hot tag ever. Like, oh my God. That was the my dudes.
Yeah, shout out to my
That was
mom.
great.
That was her first time on the show. Normally, she's a little bit more tactful in when it is that she decides to full on FaceTime me, but it is what it
Right.
is. Like,
That's awesome. That's
oh shit. In any case, yeah, happy. No, not happy. I don't even want to go to happy. Let's not even start with
no,
happy.
we cannot.
Good luck, nigga.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like anytime like someone like if my mother's like, yeah, so how's 2020 been for you so far? I just say fine and immediately change the subject because it's
that's
been
the
like
best
that bad.
policy. That's honestly
Yeah,
the best policy you can have because in the grand scheme of things, from March on, like I already knew this year was going to be just a shitstorm and a half, and
well,
it exceeded all expectations.
well, I got hit with it kind of early. It was like I want to say beginning of January. Went out of town for a work trip, which was Orlando, and I was like, okay, this is fire, this is dope, this is nice. And about 3 days into the trip, they were like, yeah, we just confirmed the first cases of this stupid thing in Orlando, and I was like, oh, did you now? And I just immediately got in my car and drove right back home. I was like, no, there's no way I'm sticking around this place. And considering that they're like what a hotspot they are, I think I made an incredibly wise decision of getting out of the Sunshine State.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. Because they're still trying to get it controlled today. What, nine
Like,
months later?
yeah, what was it? What was a news article I saw about that lady that was refusing to hide COVID information? So the governor sent like the SWAT team to her house to confiscate her computer and stuff.
Bro,
White lady too, white blonde lady too, which really threw me for a loop. I was like, wow, you didn't? Wow, okay.
they kind of do whatever the fuck they want in Florida. It feels like sometimes.
One of my friends said Outworld is basically like, oh, no, sorry, Florida is Outworld from Mortal Kombat, just lawlessness and everything else. It's all bad. It's all like nothing good, nothing good at all.
Oh yeah, as far as Florida itself is basically multiple countries in one. You got you got like South Florida, which is where you have the large Latino and Black population. Then you got a weird like swamp mix of wild shit that where all the Florida man stories come from, right there in the middle.
Yeah.
And then you got a few more refined people upstate, a little bit more. But I mean, depending on where you are upstate, because if you're upstate but you're out west in Florida, it can also get
Oh,
really fucking weird.
oh yeah, the Panhandle. Yeah, the Panhandle is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of Pensacola, like kind of like cities like are in that area. Jacksonville, which is at the top, like pretty close to the Georgia Florida line, is more of a collection of everybody in Florida, but the town is like every neighborhood and everything is super spread out.
Oh yeah.
It's that middle section, like the St. Petersburg, Tampa, Orlando, like that section that like I that's how speechless I am because what I've seen happen and come out of those three cities has been insane. Like just and it's not even a case of it's just all these white people living. It's like no, like you
No,
name the
Florida is
ethnicity,
a
there's
magnet for
craziness.
wild fucking shit, and that's just what it is. Florida in particular is like undefeated in wild shit in America happening beyond even like, cause like wild shit happens in New Orleans, wild shit happens in parts of LA.
Right.
You know, we don't even need to speak on what the reputation of like Chicago and Detroit are, but Florida still has all them niggas beat.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I mean,
It is not
it
close.
like whenever I remember when Florida Man first came into existence, it got to a point where I thought that a lot of publications out there were just like satirical, like The Onion, because I just couldn't believe some of these headlines like I was reading. Like Florida Man beats up alligator in order to gain ex-girlfriend's love back. I was like, wait, no, there's no way that can be true. No, came with a video, YouTube news clip article, and everything. I was like,
Yeah, but
huh.
you know about that whole thing about them searching like the special laws they got as far as like searching shit down there, right?
What for like warrants and things like that?
Yeah, basically they can search for like media people can search for like crazy ass stories like direct.
Oh
And like that's
wow.
that's why there's always all these fucking crazy stories coming out.
Yeah,
Like
because I
in other
mean,
places you
yeah.
got to like FOIA and do a whole bunch of other shit to get details on certain cases. But no, these niggas just have a database. They can just search that shit.
I mean, you wow, and that's a lot of places to just hold the down button on and then just randomly stop, and you'll end up having like the most reckless and crazy storyline that you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
But it's on a database to a point of where like the way we look at 2020, from what I'm told, people from out of state that moved there literally go Florida, man. Like it's literally like that out there. They've been living in 2020 since like 2009 practically, from what I've been told.
I don't want to. I'm tired of being inflammatory, so I'm not gonna say nothing.
I mean, I get it. I get it. I 100% get it. I know exactly where your mind went. I know exactly what you were
I'm
possibly.
my quote unquote New Year's resolution as far as this particular podcast goes, just not being as inflammatory as I was last year. There's a lot of like moments that people have been like, "Wow, why do you hate X so much?" And it's like, no, I don't hate it, but like, but if we don't speak
They're
on it, how does it get better?
better. Yeah, like it hurts more to peel the band-aid off slowly than it does to rip it completely off. So you might as well just get over
Sometimes
it.
you have to rip it completely off. You have to go all the way there. But I don't always have to be the nigga to do it.
Okay, and I mean that's fine. I mean, Lord knows James is like the person that typically does it. And that's how I met him
Oh no,
on
he's the
Twitter,
tame one
being
on this podcast.
it. Okay, I can kind of see that. Yeah, because when he was doing when he was doing Dog News Network, oh my God, like
That's kind of what this was born out of, in the sense that I was like, "Yo, you should bring back Dog Hive." He was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that." And I'm like, "All right, well, we should make up some other shit." And that's kind of what this idea was. And then he showed up for like 3 episodes out of 12.
oh wow.
I was look, I'm way worse than he is. Like on a good day, he's got me beat. On a good
Nothing.
day, he's got me beat. But majority of the days, I'm way worse than he is.
It's it's like you just listen to an episode and you're halfway through and it's like, okay, I see where they're going here. Scorched earth, make this a parking lot. I don't like care.
Basically.
Like, yeah, it's
Like
just like, all
my
right.
internet highs are like by accident. But they're like really high up there. And I never like those aren't things I've claimed or like have talked about on the podcast. Like I've talked about it in the Discord channel. The actual Shitpost Boys Discord channel, which is all this really was at first. Just like,
Right.
hey, since clearly we're gonna get fucking fined or deleted or whatever else when it comes to posting this shit anywhere else, post it all here.
You might as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And
And then
in
it
all
was just like,
seriousness,
this is a podcast idea as far as like, and that's why we always refer to it on Lake Effect. Like, yo, that's a topic for the other podcast because if ever there was a time to be unfiltered about certain stuff, this is been kind of set aside as that particular time.
well, I mean, yeah, I mean that's 2020 has basically been America, well, the whole world generally having the censor bleep taken away from them, and everyone is just kind of been saying what they say and feeling what they feel. And I mean, all good and well, that's fine. We've all been locked in our homes. Some of us have lost our jobs, some of us have lost
Oh
our
yeah,
homes. So,
and that was the main
you
reason
know,
it started up too, because like as soon as lockdown started, I completed a whole fucking album and I started the podcast. I was so fucking bored.
no, like
Oh, like bucket list. Let's get rid of this real quick.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are plenty of podcasts that got their start like that. I found out the Joe Budden podcast. I mean, I've been listening to that since day one, but I found out his podcast was just started because he was bored and him and his friend Marissa were talking. They got some mics and that's it. That's how the
Oh yeah, the early days in the
Boredom.
tiny little four wall like rented studio setup. Like yeah, I remember
Yeah,
those days as well. Like
yeah. When it
I was
just
there
him
from the
and-
beginning before it had a name.
Yeah, like when was I named this podcast later?
Right.
But
For
I
like
just remember-
130 episodes.
Yeah, for real. I mean, that title, he kept true to it. I mean, I can't fault a man for keeping his word on that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I just remember it was him, Marissa, and an episode where he got a girl that he crushed on in 7th grade on the podcast. And I was like, you know what? If I ever make a podcast, I would want to do something just that petty.
I am
Like,
in 2021. I don't know if I'm gonna do it on this one or I'm gonna do it on the other one that I've been kind of like putting together. But
right.
most definitely, that's within the lane of what I'm aiming for.
Just
Like in a
something,
more
like
in
reckless.
a more tasteful, intelligent way. Basically, fucking that. Insane sounding concepts, but then when you get to the actual content, obviously it's gonna have purpose and hopefully some sort of value. Speaking of
which
that,
is- yeah. Oh. All right.
while we're on the subject of that, what I actually dead ass forgot. I was trying to fake it just now, guys.
Yeah.
I was
that's
trying to
what just
fake it just
happened.
now, but I was about to
I
move on to
I
the next
appreciate-
topic.
I appreciate the attempt. I genuinely do.
Look, last time I killed that shit. It's a lot of edits. It's a lot of edits
that's
over the
cool.
course of like 10
That's cool.
episodes, where like you don't even know unless I
It's
say
cool.
something.
I'm not judging it. I'm not judging at all. I can't do this shit. So yeah, I'm not judging at all. Like you're good to go.
It's all good. But yeah, like a lot of great ideas came out of boredom. Everybody says like, "Oh, idle hands are devil's playground," but it's like, think about the first nigga. Think about the first nigga who was like, "Yo, a bra, right?"
Mm-hmm.
But the
Oh, wait,
nipples showing. That had to be the most bored but high idea that anybody has ever had. You're like,
It's an
yo,
idea-
let's take this thing that's considered vulgar and really actually start making it strange for everybody in the room.
Oh, you'd be surprised how creative cannabis like creativity can go towards like lingerie, like just a bunch of horny high people just coming up with weird shit and being like, "Oh wait, that people like? Okay, all right, let's make it in blue, let's make it in black." Yeah, like a bra with the nipples not showing. It's just I'm like, why? But other people might like it. I'm just sitting here like,
It's I don't know. Like everything is form follows function. Everything is okay, this looks like this because this was the intention. Or XYZ was the intention.
okay,
Because even when you think about podcast, the name podcast is because it was a broadcast, but on an iPod.
all right.
All of this shit is across fucking ecosystems now, and it's got the same fucking name.
Like I mean, everything's a podcast, everything's a stream, everything. Yeah,
Yeah, everything is
Generally,
content.
yeah.
Everybody's a creator,
yeah.
except Tyler.
I get-
Tyler's not a creator anymore. Tyler is a brilliant genius. who's
Uh,
misunderstood now.
Tyler. Well,
He's
well,
had the greatest
well,
rebrand of the 21st century.
actually, well, no, you are absolutely 100% correct. And ironically enough, hold on one second because I've been tweeting about Tyler for about a good couple of months just because I've been so impressed by what he's put out. And my favorite verse of his was on Freddie Gibbs's album on Alfredo, the something to rap about verse,
Yeah,
something about the boat I haven't bought yet. Yeah, no, that kid's doing magical things with his verses. So I'm here for the rebrand, 100% here for it.
I'm here for it as well. I feel like for the people who have not necessarily accepted like this is the new normal for him. Uh, same with like some of the Vine slash like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, that whole crop of people who were born after 91 or so.
Right.
Some of them have had actual talent for a long time that has really struggled to break through because they've been doing all of this clown shit.
Yeah.
Um,
I,
Jay
I
Versace is a
mean,
talented producer. I will never
right.
watch a Jay Versace video
Ever.
ever again after seeing
No.
one Jay Versace video. I was just like, okay, I know what the appeal is here. I get it. It's not for me
Right.
though.
This
I'm
is
just
this.
I'm out of that age group. I'm out of that group of people that just finds quirky behavior to be entertainment. Because first of all, bitch, I am quirky. What the fuck? Like,
But like I didn't mind the quirky behavior. Like odd when Odd Future became a thing, and like I just saw
oh,
like
I
they weren't
here's the thing.
they
Out the gate, I hated Odd Future because to me, the way Odd Future was executed
right.
looked like white people got a bunch of black kids from LA and just started like encouraging them to do weird shit. And then I found out,
Someone
oh no, they're just doing weird shit because they chose to. White people just funded it. And
Odd
I'm like,
Future
that's
is like
swag, actually.
well, I mean, on like in all honesty, whenever I've always taken the view of Odd Future, it's always been okay. They're like gentrified kids in Bel Air that know how to rap and make music. That's what they came across to me as, just like these straight up weirdo kids that like I don't even like words can't even describe how awkward it was when they first burst onto the scene because I was just sitting there like, okay, who are these kids? And then one talent stood out to me, and that was Earl. Then Earl got shipped off to military school or private school or whatever, and then I was like, I don't really have a reason to listen to them, and they're all good, but it's just yeah, that quirky. I didn't get it. So I was like, yeah, I think I'm older now. I don't know if I can rock with this.
Yeah, you and James are slightly older than me. Like I turned 29 in October. So like me and
Okay,
Tyler are the exact same age.
all right.
Within
Um,
that, at the time, I was just like, it didn't sit right with me the way everything was going about. Like this nigga just ate a cockroach. What white person said, "Yo, eat this cockroach, will make you a star"? That's how it was functioning in my brain. So I was immediately repulsed by it.
yeah, yeah, but that silhouette eating that roach is honestly what got them where they were, where they ended up.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, the shock. It was a bunch of shock value. It's literally like I want to say it's like if the Fu-Schnickens would decide to be Nirvana. That's what they remind me of. Just like have this inner city
That's a good
vibe, and
ass analogy. A lot of people
yeah,
not gonna catch that, but that's a good ass analogy.
yeah,
Please do your googles on this particular episode.
yes, because that's who they've always come across to me as. Which I mean, being different isn't a bad thing. That's not what
Oh no,
bothered
it's
me
not.
or irked me,
What pisses me off
And
is when it's different because it's uh willed to be that way.
oh, it comes off as unauthentic. Yeah, okay, yeah, no,
Because
I
like
can,
that's my beef with
yeah,
like the TikTok kids now. Because it's like I know all of this shit is staged. Stop doing it.
yeah. I mean, but if they stop doing it, then they can't keep moving these like
I
kids
know,
who are
but I
in their
hate that it
mid-teens
moves
into
the
these
needle,
mansions.
and that's my age showing. Because I hate that this is the shit that moves the needle.
Yeah, well, welcome to Get Off My Lawn, Old Man Yells at Cloud. Like,
Oh,
welcome
I've
to
been
that
here since
world.
about
What?
26 or so.
It's great. No, I absolutely love it. I love like it's not a case of oh, it's not that I don't get it. The kids don't get it. It's like no, this stuff sounds dumb. Like a lot of this stuff sounds really really bad.
The
And
kids don't get it because a member of this fucking podcast, who I assume is probably blackout drunk by now,
right.
a member of this podcast used to be the biggest Lil B fan I knew because he was the
Ew.
only Lil B fan I knew. But
No. Oh.
but
All right. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
But
Because
as he grew older, he too realized like, oh, actually, I was kind of doing that shit because like my friends was doing it. I didn't really actually fuck with that shit.
oh, yeah. I mean, that was me.
Like
with,
all of that niggas who were like, yo, I'm a pretty bitch. Like, no, no, not from here.
Not from here. Like, I mean, I remember doing that. I remember being like, what's the name of that damn group? I was a really big fan of damn it, why am I forgetting who these people are? Oh, Pro Era. That's it. I was a really big fan of Pro Era because they really came off as like a bunch of grimy, like seedy New York kids that just were really good at rap, but just in a much later time. And I was listening to it and I remember being like, yeah, I'm really into these guys. Okay, yeah, that's what's up. And then Joey Badass went on to have the career he had. And then I went back and listened to some of those Pro Era records and I was like, yo, I was smoking way too. Why was I listening to this? Why?
It felt like at the time, depending on your age, depending on your predilections, depending on what it is you were into, at the time it felt like, oh shit, early Wu-Tang back a little bit, maybe. But as your ear got more mature and actually learned to tell the difference, it was like, nah, I was wrong. Like I was wrong.
Yeah, I was like, it's like you brought up Wu-Tang.
Like you got a lot of us got lost in the production, lost in like the aesthetics of it.
Yeah.
And kind of, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Wu-Tang, because I grew up on Staten Island, so I used to see them like all the time. They were like a massive influence on that borough.
Oh man, John gonna be sick because that nigga's like the biggest Wu-Tang fan on the face of the planet, and I know he got like 8 billion questions this second for you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna save the story for when he's on about the time that I was chilling in a part of Staten Island called Old Town, and I went to a store with my friend Keith, and they pulled up, and it was Ghostface Killah, Raekwon, Method Man, and Capadonna, and they pulled up in a black 18 van, had the stripe and everything, the whole shit. Yeah. I'm gonna save that for the next episode.
Yes, definitely save that because he'll be mad as fuck if we go Wu-Tang right now. Teaching these fucking kids.
Yeah, and then he's not gonna like what I'm about
to
say.
Because he listens to every episode if he's on it or not. So like he'll be I'll be getting a call at 6 a.m. like what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh man, Wu-Tang. He's not gonna like this next one. Wu-Tang, really disappointing comeback. I'm not gonna lie. Very, very disappointing to me.
I mean,
did you hear the song they did with Logic? Very disappointing to me. Very, very disappointing to me.
But
you can try.
Because I'm seconds away from a hot take, and I'm trying not to do hot takes no more. I'm trying to chill.
I'm just
look,
like,
enough blood has been shed behind the name of Wu-Tang for me to shut the fuck up. So I'm gonna do exactly that.
Oh yeah. Park said it best. They warned you in '93. They're not. Yeah. And I'm like I kind of. Oh, all right. Yeah. All right. We're gonna get off of that. But yeah, was not happy. But
I get it.
All right.
But the show is amazing.
Oh no, the show was absolutely fantastic. I'm like, okay, great. I mean,
the show feels like the first black production with black actors telling black stories for black people with white people money behind it.
So basically, anytime Ryan Coogler makes a movie, Creed 2, Fruitvale Station, like, yeah, it's predominantly.
Fruitvale Station was kind of low budget though.
Well, I mean, it's yeah. I mean, generally, but
like, and to an extent, Black Panther was definitely not necessarily for us. Like, it felt like it was a Marvel movie. It was for everyone. But the spirit was still there.
I mean, yeah, the spirit was still there. I just wish that people were financially compensated better because that movie did over $1 billion, and Chadwick Boseman only made $800,000 for that role. Just for that movie.
Fucking what? I save that. This is the year in review episode. Let's stick to that.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's another reason I brought up Chadwick because like that still hurts. Like this whole year today, Jesus Christ, today.
Yeah.
Ooh, like this
I
whole
don't even
year
want to.
hurt.
I don't want to talk about Doom yet. I don't want to talk about Doom without John
Oh, we
being
won't.
here.
Yeah, no,
So
not a problem.
I'm a
I'm not.
I'm a I'm a hold off on Doom talk for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still processing. I'm still processing that one. So nah. We can wait on that one. I'm no objection for me on that.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
But yeah, John is me and John have a bond because we met when I was still doing music. Before I was doing managing media, all of that good shit. I was
Right.
rapping. I was with niggas. We showed up. We was rapping. Boom.
Yeah.
He was rapping. I was rapping. He rapped good. I rap good. So that's where that bond and that kinship came from.
Okay.
So like, this is at least three out of 5 episodes are going to be extremely rap heavy of this podcast. Just
which
as
is
a
absolutely
consequence.
fine by me.
So
Yeah, no.
save all of this stuff because there's gonna be
We
good
can-
stuff if and when
we
you
can say
decide
that.
to come back with us.
Okay. No. I mean, I'm having a blast so far. So yeah, I definitely plan on coming back. Yeah.
Sure,
Absolutely.
I'm with it.
All right.
So yeah, like, and that's what confuses part of our audience because some people are just here for us to talk shit and like go about real life shit. But like, if it's just me and John episode, people know at least
Right.
40% of that episode is gonna be just hard rap talk, like not soft rap talk, like all the way up there, just ridiculous shit that they know nothing about.
Oh, I remember the group that I thought I listened to. Another group I listened to that I thought was dope, but wasn't. When I look back on it in hindsight, and that's Dipset. But we're gonna save that one for another time.
Hell yeah. We were supposed to have done. There was so many episodes we were supposed to have done the last like 4 or 5 weeks, but I just got busy as shit.
That happens.
With like soundproof shit and doing the live
Right.
shows that we did. But yeah, like Dipset, talking about the return of the locks is definitely something that we're probably gonna get on in depth about as well.
We're gonna. Well,
not to say they ever left because Jadakiss has been active, but like as the locks, yeah.
Actually, speaking of Jada, what song? The song. He has a song called "Can't Stop Me" that I've been really listening to a lot of lately, mainly because of a few of the samples that were in it. Like I don't know, like Jay-Z, like I mean Jay-Z, wow. Jadakiss has this tendency to like have tracks that 1 second it's like something really soulful that he's rapping to, and the next is this like hard grimy beat, and I'm just kind of sitting here like, can I have you on soulful beats more? Because you sound amazing on those.
I mean, yeah, that was kind of the thing with Fab during that era as well, where it was like, okay, this is what we enjoy a little bit more than, shit that literally sounds like niggas are slamming pots in the streets in New York out back behind the bodega. Like, we get it.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean, Fab's still on my shit list for Suicide, so.
Hold on. We gotta.
I'm still quite angered.
We're going too far. We're going too far down the rabbit hole. Wait.
Okay. I'll chill. But
I hadn't even thought about Suicide in a good 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. No, like I got reminded of it because I was going through some old Apple Music playlists and I was just letting stuff play. It woke me up. Listening to music as I was asleep. I passed out listening to music, and then as I woke up, she said her feet hurt. She called it Suicide, and I was like, "That's what I woke up to." I couldn't go back to sleep. I'm running on 3. I got angered so bad because I'm running on 3 hours of sleep right now.
That is fucking.
It was brutal, horrible time of hip hop.
That was 1000% the oh shit the caption thing works era.
Yeah. Because I mean, well, a lot of what hip hop has become is like quotables, which I mean I'm kind of fine with, but
I'm fine with quotables. I hate the fact that the niggas who like started the whole yeah, but does he have any quotables? Like, yeah, I can quote the entire fucking verse, nigga. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I can quote the whole fucking song. I love this shit.
Yeah.
If you mean
well, I
quotables as in something succinct that's 2 bars that I can like post up to sound cool, I don't care about none of that shit. I'm not from that camp.
yeah, I mean, well, that's the camp now. It's like people like genuine, like a lot of the kids generally like listen to songs for two reasons. One, the vibe, because the vibe became more important than the substance. I mean, that's been a long time coming, but nonetheless. And two,
Oh
whatever it
yeah,
is that they can
I
put,
still
yeah,
have yet.
whatever they can
I've
put.
still yet to hear from a nigga one time. Name one quotable bar that you felt in your soul, that you felt deep
Who?
down in your soul
Oh, I felt deep in my soul. Okay.
from the
Yeah.
song.
Okay.
Ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Sicko Mode.
Like a line that I really felt in my soul. In terms of sicko mode, I can't realistically think of any except for that 13 hours till I land where I'm out like a light. But that didn't really hit my soul. That was just kind of like,
That's the
oh,
closest that
okay.
song comes to being a human
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
And the nigga's talking about sleeping.
Yeah. I mean, when you expect, I mean, the dude
And it
is
was the
rap.
biggest, and I'm just saying, when people are like, I like music that I can feel, it's like, what the fuck did you feel about Sicko Mode?
Well, the main thing that a lot of people have a tendency to do with sicko mode, but a lot of Travis Scott songs or something like this. It's not really the song per se that they feel like verses wise. It's the heavy amount of overproduction that he has a tendency to have on his songs. Like sicko mode sounds like there's a gajillion things going on that just it's like even if it could have been bars of the century and I would not like that song because it's just too much going on, too much. And it's easy to you can say anything you want on a beat like that because there's so much going on. So of course, like Travis can say something about Jamba Juice. He had a bar about Jamba Juice and another bar about Jamba Juice.
That's kind of my.
That's two songs now that he's been rapping about this damn place.
Jamba Juice is lit though.
I mean, no, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely lit. But I'm just kind of like, you've got this big, like, it's a clear, like, club hit. Like, you put it on in a club and people are going to go absolutely nuts, especially as the
I
song goes,
still
which
don't
Drake
know when
does
they're
it.
going nuts.
No, I mean,
I still have yet to find, like, I've yet to decrypt or seen anybody effectively decrypt why Sicko Mode is as big as it is, despite the fact that it's an absolutely nonsensical song.
I know exactly why.
And it's barely a song, if you can call it that.
Oh, okay, I know.
It's
exactly
like
why.
a rap collage of like a bunch of ideas over like a bunch of beats. It sounds like a demo tape in one track.
It's the dude Brick from Anchorman. Loud noise. Yeah, that's the general appeal of Sicko Mode. It's loud noises. It's just nothing but distraction. So you have no choice but to rock with it. Like, and then yeah, you just listen to the verses. It's like, no, not for me. Not for me.
I don't think it's. We're too far in rap. While we're on
Yeah,
the
we are.
subject of rap, let's stick to the criteria. What is your
Okay.
album of the year? And it doesn't have to be a rap album.
My album of the year. Okay, so that's gonna be a tricky question to ask because I have like favorites in genres.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be a rap
Oh,
album.
oh, okay.
Album of the year, not rap album of the year. Album of the year.
For me, album of the year. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. Circles by Mac Miller. That's like hands down. Like, I mean, it took an emotional toll on me. Like, I think it took a toll on everyone because losing Mac, but just all posthumous albums are. It's just sends you into a vibe, sends you to a place. The lyricism is top notch. The production is amazing.
Oh yeah.
And like I fell. I mean, I've been a Mac Miller fan since kids, probably a little bit before that. But yeah, that was like my overall. Like, if I had to choose, yeah, probably Circles. I just fell in love with everything about that album.
I can. That's a respectable choice.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
I would say that unfortunately for me, it took such an emotional toll on me that I really couldn't listen to it outside of like the window that it got released in because it was just for me such a haunting, and it was kind of, and this is gonna sound crazy, it was kind of the same
Mm-hmm.
thing with the Pop Smoke album. It was like, I hate that this takes me to the place of where I was when I found out he died. And I
I'm mad.
wasn't even a Pop Smoke fan.
That's the thing. I'm mad that I got into Pop Smoke too late. Like I'm talking like 2 months before everything went down.
That's the
I'm
thing.
so
I
mad at
really
myself.
started paying attention to him like at the very last second. It was like, wait, this sounds like grime. I love grime. Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
like that was the
absolutely.
thing for me. It was like, oh, all right, a man of culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, finally. Like, well, somebody actually is doing like a grime, American grime thing and doing it right. You
Yeah,
know, it's not Drake throwing Skepta on a track and all of us being like, "Who the no, 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 weed plate next."
Skepta is also somebody that I downplayed immediately. That I actually have respect for.
Okay,
And like that
nothing
was
wrong with
just
that.
my ignorance. I don't, it's not that I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm a Skepta fan. I can quote all his bars, but no, like if Skepta is on the track at this point, I now have a certain expectation of what he'll deliver because he released an album with Chip and somebody else
Okay.
I'm not super familiar with, and like I really enjoyed that whole album
Oh,
from top to
okay.
bottom, honestly. And that was when it was like the changing point for me, where it's like, okay, I see where he's headed. I see what he's capable of, and I have a good idea of what his intention is moving forward musically. But yeah, like I could barely listen to Pop Smoke's album because every single time it brings me back to that exact day when I found out he died, and literally like
Mhm.
all of my homies can tell you, all my soundproof homies can tell you, I was in the group chat like screaming at the top of my lungs that I hate that I have to keep saying the same shit, which is, dog, I want all the young rappers, especially the young rappers who don't have, is that he was 22, dog,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that fucked me up.
I don't know if you've heard of this dude, but there's a YouTube channel I watch. That dude, Trap Lord Ross. He actually has a really good piece on like the development of Pop Smoke and how 50 was like mentoring him. And one of the stories about him like really caught my eye. He said 50 was like, yeah, I'm like we're in the room together and I'm talking to him, but he's got his head in his phone. I'm like, yo, these kids always got their head in their phone. And he goes, I slapped his leg like, yo, like I'm talking to you. He's like, no, I'm listening. And so 50 starts talking again. His eyes go back and Pop Smoke's eyes go back in his phone. He smacks his leg again. He's like, yo, stop doing that. He's like, no, look. And he was writing the stuff that 50 was telling him down. Like he was like, yo, like I didn't think like he was actually like writing it down so he could read it later and like, learn and like that's all he wanted to do was learn and like his music was infectious, super talented. He had a super unique voice. And his delivery was incredible. I will give him that. I will absolutely give him that.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah. To all the young rappers, to all like, stay the fuck out of LA, man. I don't want
Please.
I don't want none of us dying in fucking LA again. That shit, every single time it happens, every single time some bullshit happens, it's almost always in LA or it's in Atlanta. Like the King Von shit was another reason where it was another instance where it was just like, dog, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
That one.
why can't we be anywhere? These are places that are not this is not, they didn't get killed in Appalachia. They didn't
Yeah, they
get
really didn't.
killed. They didn't get killed in fucking it's too many black enclaves, black places where black people are not safe at. It's not, and that's what breaks my heart about everything that happened this year in particular, where you have people who are visibly tired of this shit
Right.
and it's still happening even in places that are already shining examples of what happens when you have a large population of black people in one place.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And
100%.
it's twice as disheartening. For me personally, it's twice
Yeah.
as
Oh, no,
hardening at
like,
that point. You know what I'm saying? Like
um,
everybody's like, "Oh, we need our own stuff," but it's like we have our own shit, and we're still dying there.
I mean, how
Name a
we
city
got.
blacker than Atlanta.
I mean, I literally live like 20 minutes outside of there, so if anything, I would know. Like, there isn't one. There isn't one. That place should have like floating cars above it because of how advanced like they are in terms of like the entertainment industry and everything else along those lines. Like, like a predominantly black city. Yeah. Like I mean, as corny and cliche as it sounded for Ti to say Atlanta is like Wakanda, it is. It really, really is. And I just wish that like like all that bullshit can stop and people can just like build. Like that's the whole point. We're always talking about we need to build this, support black businesses, build it, and no one's doing it. Like do it. Like
In the places that have it, it's still fucked up
yeah.
in the grand scheme. Like it's not like, oh, it's an everyday thing where nobody is safe in Atlanta. People are safe there to an extent, but
To to a very high extent.
but like it's still a place where you can be well off, well to do, and still be murdered by somebody who looks like you.
Oh yeah, no, I mean like you can go to plenty of places
Yeah.
in northern Atlanta, like
Shit,
like
there's plenty of
Buckhead,
places in
Buckhead.
Africa. People like, oh, we're gonna move back to
Yeah.
Africa.
Dog, there's like
You
civil
gonna
war
stand out
happening
like
in half of the continent. Like
you gonna stand out like a sore thumb. Black
yeah.
people don't realize how American they are until they leave America, and they have to start playing catch up real quick.
One of the funniest little things that I saw was because it was to the point you just said where people like Americans leave America and realize how different things are, and or at least have an idea now of like how the world views us. Roger and Klaus went to Amsterdam and they're like, "We're in Amsterdam, all right, yeah, yeah, yeah," and they're talking about all this crazy stuff they're gonna do, and then Roger puts a Canadian flag on Klaus's bowl, and he was like, "Yeah, it's probably for the best." Like that's how bad we are. We have to disguise the fact that we're Americans in other countries. That's the craziest part about it. Like,
They'll find out.
oh,
They'll find out. Anybody who doesn't know yet will find out, and
the-
it's not with. I don't say that with malice. I don't say that with the intention that I hope something bad happens to you. But
of course,
for the most part, a lot of people don't know what a black quote unquote utopia looks like because a black utopia doesn't exist even where you think it does.
I mean the only ones we've realistically seen are in movies. Wakanda, Zamunda,
Literally,
stuff like that.
and even those places, fucking mess. Like this is a fucking
yeah.
Like Wakanda forever, but Wakanda got conquered by one nigga from the outside.
Yeah, one. I mean, to a point of where like this is a place that explosions apparently happen all the time.
And everybody was just like, I guess we gotta go with it. Rules are rules.
Yeah, like that. Well, Wakanda's a confusing city in itself because it's like you've got the city itself, which is like this incredibly sprawling, futuristic metropolis, and then you go outside of it, and it's just like any other African village.
Shit, the poorest of villages. One of these days we can go in depth. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, hold on. But all right, I'm back.
Yeah, one of these days we can go in depth about the lore and how that don't really match up with like people's weird expectations. But
because I mean, I don't think I could ever just get used to like we need a utopia. I don't know how like I can't get used to a giraffe just running across my yard or a baby elephant walking up at me going, "Oh, hello, Babar," and then it runs. No, I can't get used to that. No.
Let alone all the shit that comes with that. Literally the shit that comes with
shit
that.
Yeah. Everybody thinks they're gonna wake up and get their royal penis cleaned, but that's not how. No, that's not how these utopias work. That's not at all how these utopias work.
Yeah, they're never. The whole trick about it is that they're never as perfect as they seem.
Right.
And even when you stop to think about the politics of a place like that and how it maintains through that, even if you look at the Amazons of fucking DC Universe. And I was making this joke the whole time watching fucking Wonder Woman 84. Like, What the fuck?
Oh,
We've
boy.
never seen these niggas eat. What do they eat? Where is their culture? Is their culture just competing with each other all fucking day? We don't see them do shit else but that.
Yeah, because
We don't see them make anything. We don't see them eat anything. We don't know what they
No.
farm, what they domesticate outside of horses. Do they eat the fucking horses?
Like, no, because I'm just kind of sitting there too. I'm like, because maybe this is just my brain thinking it, but I'm like, okay, so all these ladies appear to do is train for the inevitable fight when Steppenwolf comes in and his army just rocks their shit. That's the first thing, and then the second thing is
The Amazons are basically the Saiyans.
they are they are, and Wonder Woman. Oh God, Diana Prince is Goku. Oh Christ. Oh Christ. She's just as naive. She's just as gullible. She's just
I've never
as
thought about
hungry.
that until this very fucking moment. They're literally the fucking Saiyans.
They are the Saiyans. They have to be. They have to be. The only difference is they've got horses, crowns, like that.
But crowns of what? What are the fucking politics of a place where everybody's on the same accord, allegedly? Why do you need a leader?
Thank you. I've always had that problem with Themyscira. I've always had that problem with the fact that it's like they present themselves as this equal feminine utopia, but it's like, no, there's a head bitch in charge amongst you. There has to be.
And that's the crazy part. Like, her only role is to protect and fail to protect the fucking box. And Steppenwolf just tells her, like, yeah, I'll take that now.
Like, they literally sacrifice themselves to drop this like slab of stone in Justice League, and he just burst through that shit. Like, you ever see the movie Little Giants where they burst through the banner and stuff?
Bruh,
Like,
yes.
Yeah, literally burst through concrete like it was like once that happened, then they hop on their horses, are now trying to outrun spacecraft. Just give them the box,
bro.
Just give them the box.
Literally. But I don't know. Maybe that's like the intention at the end of the day, to show the flaws of whatever the fuck.
Like,
but I mean,
of the society.
I don't think there's any
itself.
society. I don't think there's any society in the DC universe that works when you stop to think about it.
The Green Lantern Society is definitely one of them. That core, oh boy.
It's just full of fucking just all the time. Just everything falls apart with practically every. Gotham City is a fucking hellhole.
Yes, it is.
Metropolis is it has the most powerful man on the face of the planet in it, and it's still somehow kind of a fucking hellhole.
Oh, yeah, well, back to that utopia thing. I mean, utopias don't have to be just lands. Like, well, in the comic book sense, like, all right, Charles Xavier's mansion.
Shit, what does Mars look like? We've never fucking really seen Mars yet.
Yeah, we haven't. We haven't. Well, I mean,
and Mars has got to be fucked up because they got racism.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The green versus the black Martians. We learned about that at Young Justice. I was very confused.
Like dangerously confused. I was like, oh God. I was like, this is kind of a bad story. I mean, I get that they're trying to say, oh, racism happens everywhere, no matter the planet, and I'm like, yeah, I get that, but it's just.
But these niggas are shapeshifters. That's what confuses me.
Yeah, like hell, you're a member of a race that Superman once was once asked, who would you never want to fight? And he said John Johns because he could beat me in 5 seconds. Like, why is there like this like weird race angle? They did that on the Supergirl show. And John Johns played oh God. John Johns is a military.
I am one of the proud and the few who has never, ever, ever seen a single episode of like the vast majority of CW abortions.
Well, I got into the Flash. I can't front. Like,
a lot of people got into the Flash. I got into the first 4 episodes of Flash and let it go.
Yeah, like I got like because I was sitting here like I'm like, okay, I get he's discovering his powers, but like these people shouldn't have this much of a lock on. Like a general shouldn't be able to throw this little ball and cover his entire body in spikes while he runs at him at a speed that the general can't react to. That's the main thing that makes me stop watching Flash is that the show like doesn't realistically make sense with his powers. Like This man can move faster than the blink of an eye.
Well, that's my thing. As
But
time goes by, the writers get lazier and lazier with trying to figure out creative ways to raise the stakes as the hero grows. And that's what a lot of Hollywood struggles with, which is why you always have a sequel where the concept is okay, but what if they lost their powers and were no longer worthy after their arc of proving worthiness in their origin story every
I
fucking
can't wait.
time?
I can't wait until they do that with Captain Marvel and make one of the most boring movies on the planet because they're always the most boring movies on the planet when they lose their powers. Every single one of them. I'm on the small majority of people that likes Iron Man 3. I'm like, all right, good. Yeah, he doesn't have the suit with God mode automatically. He doesn't have God Siri initiated.
Right.
Like he actually has to use his ingenuity and use these smarts that he has that we only see him like exhibit when he's like making suits. We don't see it like outside of that. That's why I really like that movie. But the movies where like, oh no, my powers aren't work. I mean, they did it in Spider-Man 1, like taking away his suit. He lost like 60% of it, like his abilities because he
Basically, yeah.
lost the suit. And I'm one of the few people that thinks Homecoming's boring because of that. I'm like, really? We're doing
Homecoming is not great.
it's
Homecoming
not.
is a good like victory lap after you have the Civil War
Yeah.
like peak, like yes, this is what we've been waiting for moments. And it's just like, okay, here's a Spider-Man film in that same universe. And it's like, all right, that's cool. I wasn't really looking forward to it. I didn't expect it to blow my mind. I never expect Spider-Man to blow my mind at this point. There's too many fucking
No.
Spider-Man. Like
It's
it's literally an entire comic series called Spider-Verse because there's too many fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah, what was it? Like 2 days ago they showed off the new like Spider-Man costume and it looked gross and I was like, okay. And they're like, oh, he's from Earth such and such and I'm just like, where
No.
I'm like, wait, come on, hold on, wait. It looks like you guys tried to recreate Spider-Man 2099 and failed miserably. That's what this costume looks like. That's number one. Number two, like you've already got like Miles and you guys have always been like, yeah, we're gonna make Miles the new next Spider-Man, but you guys just can't seem to pull the trigger because you want to have all these Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, Spider this, Spider that, and I'm just sitting
Spider-Verse.
there. I don't like that.
Spider
Like,
Ted. Like
I don't like.
what's next?
I hate the concept of a universe within a universe within a universe. It's annoying.
Yeah, that's why the X-Men fell off.
I mean, one of the appeals
Between
to
the
me
bad
with
writing, between having what's her name decide to be Mystique, and then all of a sudden giving Mystique a whole bunch of purpose she didn't fucking need to ultimately kill her in the last movie anyway.
Well, I mean, they had to write around Jennifer Lawrence because I don't know if you
He
saw
was
it
the
in
one
X-Men.
bringing people in.
He was the one bringing people in, but in the first movie, she doesn't really wear the Mystique makeup that much, and it was because she didn't feel like sitting in that chair for hours getting the Mystique makeup put on. So they had to write around that as to why she was just constantly walking around being human or looking human and everything else along those lines. Because Jennifer Lawrence's lazy ass didn't want to sit in the chair and do Mystique scenes, like painted blue and shit.
I'm gonna let you have that. Somebody else can die on that hill. I'm not gonna die on that hill this time.
Oh no. Well, no, there's way more. Yeah, no, I'm in full agreement with you. Writing's incredibly subpar. They don't seem to really know the progression of the universe. Well, they don't even know the direction of the progression they want the universe to go. They're trying to make it really more authentic because they're trying to solve a problem that the first X-Men series had. And the first X-Men series problem that I can think of, it's still good. I like it, but first problem it had was the universe suffered because they ripped everything out, and then you've got this universe and it suffers because they tried to cram everything in, and it doesn't translate well.
Holy shit! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
No,
got a work email at 11 p.m. and I was very confused as to why.
oh Jesus.
I'm like, what
Christ.
it's New Year's Eve, bro. What are you doing?
And
It's long. It's long too. I'm like, man, if I'm not fired, I'm gonna be pissed by the end of this email.
Yeah.
I'm not fired, so I'm pissed.
All right. No. Double-edged sword. Damn it.
Like, bro, if you send me an email at 11 o'clock at night, I better be fucking fired or like about to get a fucking region to myself. Like, don't hit me about shit else.
I just thought about something. All right. I mean, I know we're not trying to focus on a negative 2020 and everything, but I gotta ask, to you, worst album of the year that you heard, dog. Your New Year's
Worst
resolution doesn't
album I
start for
heard.
your New Year's resolution doesn't start for another 58 minutes. So yeah, just let it fly. Yeah,
That's
worst album you
actually
heard this
harder
year.
than you think because, like,
No, I know it is.
that's harder than you think because I definitely didn't hear any albums that I knew were gonna be bad.
Well,
Like,
okay.
there's a couple albums, I'm not gonna mention nobody. There's a couple albums that have come out in the last couple of months that were absolute butt cheeks, and I knew it in
Yep.
advance, so I didn't even bother.
Well, I decided to take a chance and go again because I have that same principle, but I decided to take a chance and go against the grain a couple of times and listen out for some stuff. And
I have a worse
already know.
album cover, but I can't talk about that publicly either because
okay, well,
I'm gonna send that to the Shitpost Boys Discord and just let you see
okay,
it.
and I'll do it. Yeah, just let me see it. I need because my curiosity.
I saw this shit. It was like, this is the worst album cover I've probably ever seen in my fucking life.
Yeah. You definitely got to drop that to the Discord because I 100% want to see what this album is. Oh God.
What the fuck were they thinking?
Hold on, let me go into because I just got the. There we go. There's the other and why? No, I'm responsible for this. Why would you?
That's a major label release. That's not like an indie artist.
And I can't even say the name of it because people are gonna know. But wow,
it's really fucking bad. When I seen it, I was like, "Whoa, why isn't this getting the same treatment that the Virgil Pop Smoke cover got?"
Jesus.
This is way worse.
That is really bad. That is really, really bad.
I understand what they were going for, but even what they were going for, it's executed in such poor quality. Who the fuck approved this?
Wait. You said this is from a major label?
This is from a major label artist.
Someone got paid for this.
Someone got paid for this.
Well, in fact, someone got paid. Like someone said, this looks like the first try. This looks like the rough draft of the first try. It wasn't even the whole. They didn't even see through the whole thing. It was just like, yep, that one. They open up the folder and that one right there. Oh my God. Whoever drew this, like, I'm not the type to wish pain on anybody, but they should not have access to their writing list anymore because this is just atrocious. What in the world?
This came out of L.A. Reid's pocketbook. Let me put it in perspective for you.
Of course it did. You know what? That man has gotten away with too many crimes against musical humanity. Way too many. And this doesn't even surprise. Oh, this is bad. This is really, really bad.
No matter how you look at it, it just gets worse. You just notice more and more worse shit about it.
Like, I want to go. Oh my God. Oh, this is bad.
This is
really,
peak.
really...
This is peak Instagrammer turning music artist, and somebody coming in saying let's capitalize and make a couple of quick bucks. This is the epitome of that.
This is gross.
It is disgusting. It is really goddamn bad. If it was higher quality, I would halfway be like, okay, they're playing up that particular angle of whatever it is they're doing. But this is such poor fucking quality while also being horrible. Like, what the fuck how does this work?
This is Gorilla.
How did Apple get sent this and not be like, whoa, you show?
I mean, fam, like, you can get a reroll on that. Like
I think you sent us the wrong file.
If this was a game of Dungeons and Dragons, like, whoever drew this would have to roll damage. Like, just pick up the dice, dog. Like, what in the this is almost Gorilla Zoe's 31 Days of COVID-19 album cover bad.
I'm not even going to start there.
No, I'm going. Oh, did you see it?
I'm not. No, I haven't, and that's why I'm gonna keep going. Shout out to Gorilla Zoe.
Shout out to Gorilla Zoe.
Oh.
But off to.
So no, I don't have a worse album I've heard. I'm gonna go look. I don't have a worst album I've heard, but that's definitely the worst album cover I've seen all year. Like, and it wasn't close when I seen it.
Okay,
Like,
no, I
I
need
had
you to
seen
see
some
this.
bad ones, but then I was like, oh,
No, I need you to.
oh,
See,
nah,
I need.
they didn't even try.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it's. Ooh, there's a. Oh boy. All right, no,
Oh
I need.
boy, what?
Yeah, you see, yeah,
What?
yes. I'm not
Oh,
kidding at
okay.
all. It is. It is a lot. It is a
Oh, all
lot.
right. Okay. Oh, okay.
That was my worst of the year. The worst one I saw this year.
Ah, well.
Man, see, speechless.
So what was your most important moment of 2020?
All right, so yeah, I was about to say, yeah, we're going to jump onto something,
That's
another
really
topic.
that's something.
But yeah,
I wasn't expecting it to be that.
no one ever does. Like I remember one of my friends, because one of my friends hit me up was like, "Have you heard Zoe's new album?" I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Have you seen the album cover?" And I was like, "Nah." And before I can even get the H of the word "nah" out of my mouth, he already sent it to me. He already messaged it to me, and I dropped my phone. I was like, "No, I refuse to believe that. No, there is no way." So when I looked up the album, like, yeah, that's it. That's 100% it. Like my guy. What
I just
what were you?
I'm gonna let it be.
Yeah. All right. So all right, about 2020. Uh what was the
Most important moment
most
for you
important
personally.
moment for myself personally? Most important moment of 2020 for myself personally. Oh, nice. Because there's a few of them. Oh, okay. Most important thing I in 2020 I learned. Um Learning that there is a great deal of people who didn't really take things seriously when this thing all went down, and helping them through their experiences like of doing that, because I've actually there's like an online like COVID counseling thing that I do where people talk about it and stuff, and I help them see perspective. Just a little, nice little healthy dialogue about people who didn't do it, like meeting the people during that, like doing that, like just learning different perspectives and everything. I learned a lot this year. That was the important thing for me this year, is learning. I learned so much more in 2020 than I think I've learned in any other year. And anytime that I gain any kind of knowledge, and especially if that knowledge makes me feel good, makes me feel emotions and everything else along those lines, like I'm thankful for that. So I'm thankful that I like got a plethora of just wisdom from this year. That was the important thing to me. I think a lot of people did too. I think a lot of people gained a much broader perspective about like life and us in general, and taking things a bit more seriously, and not,
Oh yeah.
having their panties in a bunch, not having their panties in a bunch all the time. I think people are much more appreciative of life now. Like that's and it's good to see that.
Yeah.
It's important. Yeah,
I mean,
that was the most
as
important.
much as we underplay it, like this was a war this year, honestly.
Yeah, yes,
Like
it was.
as if we look at the effects of war and the scale of war and how its damages reverberate through a society, this is that. It's
Yeah,
not human versus human for the first time in probably a very long time, but that's what this was. This was, yeah, let's put our heads down for a little bit.
yeah,
Like this is serious. This is more than just some of the run of the mill shit that we've been thinking about and dealing with and thinking is the worst of the worst. I mean, obviously, the people who had a vested interest in continuing their policies of humans are bad and here's why
all right,
shit, like, of course they kept doing their thing, but we don't fucking pay attention to them niggas. That's the entire reason this podcast exists.
all right. And that is a really good way. That is a very, very good way of looking at that. Very, very good way. Because it's just like, because we got 2021 coming up in like 49 minutes and stuff. Ringing in the new year, making sure everything's right, make sure everything's like proper going into this new year, so we can like, make some changes, get everything like at least something resembling what we remembered it was before this crazy year was what it was. And maybe less deaths of incredibly important figures in our society. That would be swell.
That would be
Just
nice. That would
that
definitely
would
be
be
nice. But
that would be absolutely fantastic. I mean, I get it. Like I get life. I mean, I get life does what it does, and yes, certain things are just unavoidable. But like less death, like please, like less of that, and more people celebrating life, and more people not acting like jackasses, and more people just using more common sense.
1000%.
That's what I want out of 2020. But but that was the important thing I learned in 2020 was that like we have the potential to band together, and some of it for good, some of it not, but mostly it was good. Mostly it was a lot of people banding together for good, like a great portion of the country telling another portion of the country that they were complete and total idiots and that they were literally endangering us and things along those lines. Just seeing that unification of everybody and being everybody's more appreciative. Like people learn new things like cooking and gardening and just stuff that they wouldn't think that they got into because
Oh
another thing
yeah, a
that
lot
this
of people
ooh,
finally realized what people have been saying for a long time, which is there's some essential shit you absolutely have to learn.
yeah,
Cuz while, we've enjoyed so much prosperity in America, I feel like this
right.
was definitely a sobering moment for everybody who's just like, learn how to cook. I'll just hire someone. Uh,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Yeah,
uh, boy, do I got a story for you.
yeah, um like just yeah, like everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I started baking bread." I'm like, "Really?"
Nothing
Like
but time. When you got nothing
like
but time,
yeah, I mean, when you have nothing but time and you got and as long as you have your wits about you, it's like yeah, like I can see like where yeah, you want to learn you want to learn a bunch of new things that you didn't really have the time to learn because
yeah.
this actually showed how much we like leave our houses to go do things, how much time we don't spend in our own homes.
I had
Like
a long
we
I had a long conversation with some of the younger dudes at work today about like asking them an important question that was framed in a way that I understood and people my age would have understood back then, which is,
right.
are you buying a car to work, or are you working to have a car?
This is yeah, very very good very good questions too
Like,
because
intentionality matters, and I feel like intentionality is the last thing that we get taught as men. We get taught what we should do, we get taught responsibility, but we never really get the lessons about intentionality. As far as, yes, you want to do these things, but what does that actually bring you? If you had
like
$300 million overnight, the vast majority of people would not be working where they're working.
no,
If they're working at all, the majority of people who I ask that question is always the same thing. They're like, okay, I get $300 million. Okay, now it's the time to find out what I actually want out of life. And it's like, nah, nigga, no.
you got you
When you
got you
making
got time now.
$40,000, you should be trying to figure that shit out.
Yeah, like I mean,
If you're making $20,000, you should be trying to figure that out. You shouldn't be waiting until till the fucking the heavens open up and God asks what you want. No, nigga, you need to know in advance.
yeah. But then again, that's something that I feel doesn't really get taught to men as much as everybody feels that it does. Is just like having
Nobody asks
not
us good
yeah
questions.
not,
People
yeah
ask
yeah
us gotcha questions, but not good questions that really make you sit back and think about it. Because the only reason
yeah
I mentioned is because one of the younger dudes I work with was like, oh, me and this girl been dating for like, a year. And
right.
I'm like, dog, aren't you 17? What the hell are y'all dating for?
I
Because
swear.
I,
Oh my god.
and I'm just like,
Oh,
yeah. Uh, you
but I
pursue her
mean,
or she pursued you? She was like, oh, we kind of pursued each other. I'm like, all right,
yeah.
but the whole committed relationship part, who was that? Always your intention?
Well, no, well, no, they never learn that because you see that your parents are together, blah 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 blah, or if even if they're not, if they have a new
Yeah,
person in their life, whatever the case may be, that's realistically what they see, and they keep getting told, "Oh no, like you want to, stay faithful and everything else. And I feel like that's something, well, not faithful. You don't want to date like all these different women or whatever. And that's something that kind of gets drilled into your head. I'm not now. No one listening to this
It's
think
not
I'm condoning
right.
teaching kids to
It's not
start
the
playing each
dating.
other.
It's not the dating exclusively part. It's the dating exclusively part, while also being 17
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still think it's like an
and
awkward
being able
thing
to
to be
work part time
13
at
and
best.
dating.
That was the thing. I asked him, like, when you really start to think about it, like, what age is the age where you should actually be dating for companionship?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like dating. Well, that's actually a really good question because yeah, the thing about that is, does that really get like drilled into men's minds?
Fuck
Like,
no.
when are you?
No,
Yeah, no, not at
I've
all.
never had that
Not at all.
conversation. I didn't think about that till
Yeah.
I was already old and it was too late.
Oh no, no. Unfortunately, I have, and unfortunately, I had two conflicting viewpoints on this. I have a mother who was like sweet and caring and everything. It's like, oh no, you should, like see, you should like see who's out there, date, get to know women, and then see where everything goes. And then I got a dad that's like, fuck while you can, because once you turn a specific age, that's when you're going to be like, okay, I need to find a mate to settle down with. You're going to settle down with that person. She's going to put the governor on you, and that's that.
Holy
And
fuck!
I
What?
was like, and my,
I've never heard that expression before, but it already puts fear in my heart.
my father is like a quotable god. It's insane what some of the stuff he's told me, and I was like, oh God, Jesus Christ! But he was like, yeah, like that's what he was trying to drill into my head, while my mom was like, look around, see see what's out there, get to know people, and blah 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 blah. And then you got to remember that, oh yeah, you guys dated before I was born in a completely different era of time of humanity. Maybe you guys shouldn't be giving me advice because it was the '70s. Y'all were just humping around, and
Yeah, that's the other thing. Shit is so different now. Like, you can't even. I would never in good time, if I had a kid who was coming of age right now, I would never in good conscience be like, oh man, now you need to see what's out there. No, stay away from everyone.
yeah, no, it was just like,
yo, you want to stay alive, nigga?
yeah, like I mean, my son's 13, and he's just kind of like getting into that realm, and he's just like, Dad, what should I do? So I help him on whatever it is that I feel he needs to know, and then like I might impart some wisdom on him, but I don't fully expect him to fully follow because people are going to do what they're going to do, and I don't want him to feel restricted that, okay, I probably shouldn't date women because or whatever the case may be, just because like my dad was raised to think that. No, I'm not trying to impart that on him. Like it's like, personally, you shouldn't be dating, but then again, we live in a culture where kids are hooking up and like with people they don't even like. Now there are grown
Yeah.
adults that are doing that
Hey,
now, but
hey, that's the scary thing that we never really tell people about, because I feel like we don't have the language to really talk about it either.
what hooking up with people you don't like?
Not specifically that. Yes, that's a portion of it.
Okay.
But when you stop to think about what online dating is now versus what online dating was before, online dating before was like, online dating back when I was young, very, very young.
All right.
And it was just like one of those things that people thought was the weirdest, craziest shit on the face of the planet.
Right.
Those people were searching for compatibility because they didn't have that anywhere.
And the people,
now people are compatible with everything, so they're trying to hopefully get lucky with somebody exceptional who they're not remotely fucking compatible with.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Like the same people that like do speed dating or whatever the case may be, had the nerve to sit there and say, well, internet dating doesn't work out. Now it's like, okay, now when I was growing up, I'm a bit older, so when I was growing up, video dating services, personal ads in newspapers, that's how like people like dated, because it was just like meet somebody in person and have the balls to tell you I like you. Yeah. Now that you've got your Tinders, you got your Bumbles, you got your Grinders, you got like it's sex is accessible. You can get sex as easily as you can get a lift.
Literally.
Bruh.
Actually, You got to be careful because you might hit the wrong app in the dark.
Thank
And you don't know what you got when they get there.
Sitting there like, yeah, they're coming on the way. Bob, wear my mask. 5 minutes before they depart. Oh, damn it. Yeah, you don't want that when you were just trying to hit the Tinder app or whatever. But it's if like depending on what the scenario is, who you're into. But like, it's such a different world now where like it's so accessible that kids are kind of becoming desensitized to sex.
Oh, they 1000% are.
Yeah,
Like
it's,
one
yeah,
like
'cause-
much like I thought like it was getting bad with like my peer group. To put it
yeah,
in perspective for everybody who doesn't know like my age, I'm 29. That means I graduated in 2009. Like I graduated high
there
school
you
in
go.
2009. So
There you
I
go.
was at the very like tip of the spear when it comes to like online quote unquote normalizing itself as
Right.
a space for people to kind of live, work as well as socialize. Before that, niggas wasn't doing that shit at all.
I rem I remember jumping on Facebook and I just for my status. I have a quick question, everybody. Excuse me. When was the last time you hooked up with somebody and it wasn't through social media?
Mm.
The answers I got only out of 100 and something comments, two of them. Two of them were like, we met at work. I didn't even know she had a Facebook or anything. And like, we actually made our Facebooks together, everything else. But everybody else was like, no, yeah, through an app. Every hookup I've had has been through an app. Like Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, yeah, everybody's been like, my hookups have been through social media. So the people that were sitting there going, oh, everybody could just hook up by just pressing a button and everything. I'm like, yo, do you know how clutch that would have been in the '80s? Like you guys would have
You know how
you guys would have
wild,
been all over
you know
Tinder.
how
Y'all would have been
extinct we
all
would have been if that was a day.
either that or we
No,
overpopulated ourselves.
bruh.
It's like massive overpopulation just because everybody's just hooking up. And I don't know. I remember it was so much different for me growing up because for me hooking up with a girl or like one hook up with a girl was asking her a note or asking for her number. Do you know how much I miss the like concept of, yo, can I get your number? And you got a pen or she got a pen and he just, writes that on your hand or writes it on a slip of paper and like hands it to you. And then you got that thrill of, yeah, your number, that's what's up. Nah, no, that's gone.
Yeah, it was like a trophy, but
That's
now
gone.
like
Yeah, it
everybody
was,
has
yeah.
access to that shit instantaneously. Like you don't even gotta try. You don't even gotta be
But
looking for it. You can just be scrolling one day and just
dog, dog, I was
follow
working.
back. We in there. Like
Yeah.
it's ugh. Ah,
Let me give you a
you
perfect
kids will never know
example.
what it's like.
No, it won't. I remember having a conversation. All right, I was working at a bar a few years ago before I got the job I have now. But I was working at a bar a few years ago, and there was like one of the servers was like 20, and I remember some girl was like checking him out. I was like, "Yo, watch go holla," and he's like, "All right, I'll see what's up." And so he walks up to her and everything. They bust out phones, and I'm like, "All right." And he comes back, and I'm like, "So?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna hit her up later." I'm like, oh, "Okay, cool. She gave you the number." He's like, "Nah, she
Nah,
gave me a
Instagram,
Snapchat." So
Snapchat.
she said
Ah,
Snapchat,
god damn. I
Snapchat. You
forgot
were
about
close.
Snapchat.
This was like a few
Was it
years ago when
Rihanna that
Snapchat was
stepped
still
on
popping.
Snapchat and then never recovered?
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. But yeah, he was like, I got a Snapchat. I was like, not her number. And he's like, no, just her Snapchat. I'm like, why? And he's like, why would I need her number when I got her Snapchat? And I'm like, wait, hold on a second. And then he's like, no, think about it. He's like, I've got an ability to text her. I've got an ability to receive photos from her. I got an ability to like video chat her. And if I don't want to hear from her or anything else again, I could just hit block and I'm done. And I'm just like, yo, where was this shit for me growing up? Like I would have killed for something like that growing up.
Bro,
I grew up in AOL chat rooms, MSN Messenger, all that other crazy. That's when I like hit the hookup start, like seeing stuff like that. So
I came up in the Skype generation, the early Skype. Like
oh
before it was
man.
pretty.
Oh yeah. Oh, back when Uvu was a competitor. I
Uvu,
remember that. Yeah, I
yeah.
remember that.
Uvu,
I
what was
remember
the other
that.
one?
Oh, I knew of Skype and Uvu. I didn't know about any of the other ones.
There was like it was like Voxer or some shit that was like huge for like a summer.
Voxer was huge because you could do chirping and stuff. But honestly, like I hit the renaissance when Kick got invented, and everybody was using Kick.
I skipped that entirely. I skipped that entirely. I skipped Tumblr entirely. I was
I
like,
mean,
I was Skype, Uvu. What was that? Was it Hotmail Messenger or some shit?
MSN, yeah,
MSN,
the MSN
MSN,
Messenger.
MSN, Skype,
Hmm.
Uvu were like the trifecta
Yeah,
when I was trying to find a suitable lady partner between the ages of like suitable lady partner. Look at me.
yeah.
Nah, but I was like, 15,
Oh yeah,
16, 17. Like when you first actually are like, well, I'm interested in girls, so I need to start working on that.
yeah. I mean, my cousin's same age as you, and that's what she was using to like talk to like her friends or her boyfriend or whatever. It was just Uvu and like just it made everything that
Yeah,
it was the
I was
beginning of
at the
making everything that much
very
better.
twilight of AIM at that point.
Oh, I was heavy on AIM. Oh Christ, like that was
Yeah,
like
AIM
when AIM
AIM
could
started
like
getting weird by the time I started using AIM.
around the time I want to say I started doing MySpace. Like when MySpace became the hub for that was when I bowed out of AIM. Like a little bit later actually, because a lot of people were still speaking on AIM.
For sure.
So it was
I
like,
was slightly too young for MySpace. So by the time I was old enough to care about shit like that, MySpace was on its way out and Facebook was like becoming the biggest thing on the planet.
dog, MySpace was an era I discovered. So, like,
I had a
I
crush spot, but I
mean,
never fucking used it. And that was
what?
also at the very end of it.
Oh, wait, you had a what now?
Crush spot.
Oh, okay. Like
I
just
never
like
had a Black Planet. That was people slightly older than me.
yeah, I was like, yeah, no, because they were ODing on Black Planet. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm straight. They were ODing on Black Planet. I remember, I remember my homeboy was like, yo, you should check this girl out. I'm like, okay, let's see what you got going on. The whole booty hole. Oh wow, okay. Like no mystery at all, huh? Just you know what you're gonna
Oh
get.
man,
And,
I'm so glad I
what?
didn't see none of that. At that
No, like
age,
I
I'd have been
mean,
ruined. I'd have been
yeah. Oh
ruined.
no, nah, he got ruined. He's a grown ass dude, and he was just like, yeah, nah, this site is my shit. Like I love this place, and then that fell apart because Black Planet slowly turned into what would eventually become an offshoot called Backpage, and yeah,
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 see,
the
I was
Backpage.
too young to know what Backpage was when Backpage was a thing. I was
All right.
not. By the time Backpage was like, "Woo, feds, we're here. Like we're here for you."
Yeah,
Like that's when
yeah.
I found out what Backpage was, and by then I was like 23, 24
Well,
ish.
like during its heyday,
The first
the
time that they got rated.
Backpage was crazy.
Oh
Well, yeah. Well, this was before they got rated. This is when it was like the height of its popularity. I was helping my dad out, working at a hotel in East Point in Atlanta. He was doing some electrical work there. I was making some extra money, and there's one lone computer in this room, so you can check your email, whatever the case may be. They had no Wi-Fi. You just that one computer, and we didn't realize we were staying at a hotel where it's mainly prostitutes and like pimps until we were working it, and the girls were over the computer, fighting over it because of Backpage, and they were like hooking up through Backpage.
yeah, don't fuck with the way somebody eat. Definitely gonna get a
Yeah,
fight.
I mean, like one of the girls had to educate me on it because I was like, what's going on?" And she was just like, "Oh, it's just these hoes, these hoes want this Backpage and everything. I'm trying to
How
make
were
my
you?
money
Like
too."
17, 20, somewhere in that range?
I was no, I was a little later in my 20s. I think I was like 27 or so, because I didn't know about Backpage because Backpage was just like prostitution hub about what I know about that. So it's like,
Right.
all right, whatever. But like he had to tell me, I was like, oh, that is. I was like, oh, that's why you guys are fighting.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
it's
that would
money related.
explain the
Okay,
entire situation.
yeah, yeah. It was just crazy because like it looked like a Royal Rumble inside this like 10 by 10 room. I was like, oh, okay, like ladies, it's a computer. You can be like, click, okay, like how long do y'all plan on doing what you're doing? But yeah, like now it's to a point of where we have these god devices in our hands, and it's amazing what you can get with just this little device.
Yeah.
Always blows my mind what you can do with these things. And it always blows my mind that we have all this access to all this information in the entire world, and
People are still
people
stupid as fuck
people are still
by
stupid.
choice.
People
And
are
it
still dumb.
grinds my fucking gears.
Yeah.
People be out here
Look-
dead ass just dumb, just stupid.
Dumb.
Don't know where to start. Don't know where
Wikipedia
it
takes
ends.
2 seconds to download. 2 seconds to download some Wikipedia. 2 seconds to download a Google app, or just hit Safari or hit Chrome or whatever browser you have a tendency, and you can find out just about anything in the world. Like, the term
10
Google
seconds.
is free should not exist.
Yeah, literally. Like, beyond that, you know, Wikipedia has been keeping niggas. Wikipedia's
Yeah.
been feeding the block for quite some time, actually.
Oh man, that reminds me
Wikipedia's
of-
been feeding the block since at least 2005, 2004.
the only beef I have with Wikipedia is you can change up things, and I don't like what they did with Kobe. This was well before he died, or before he passed away.
Yeah.
It was Kobe's least scoring game or worst scoring game, and it was like they changed it to it was on this day that Kobe had the worst scoring game of his career when he caught a 2-piece from Chris Childs, and there was the photo of Chris Childs punching Kobe in the face.
What? Y'all niggas
Yeah,
disrespectful.
No, people reacted. People reacted. Oh my god, it was insane. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, why would you? That's why I don't like it. That's my maybe. Hey, was there anything else about 2020 we got to talk about? Because I got to dip in a minute or two.
Oh no, I was about to say let's wrap it up anyway because I want to do a part
Okay.
2 later on.
Works for me.
Pleasure. All right. For everybody listening, it's gonna sound like a short break, but for me, it's probably gonna be like a couple of hours, so I'm gonna get drunk and like grab some ass and eat some brisket.
There you go. Going into 2020, and
Oh yeah, we doing it. We doing it the right way. So it's gonna seem like a break, but it's gonna be a little while for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell them where they can reach you at again.
you can reach me on Twitter at Maches Hall, or Instagram, same exact name, MAJHATESALL. You can catch me also on Lake Effect Tech. Y'all should tune into that. That's
Tune in to Lake
Barrel of
Effect Tech.
Fun.
I'm tired of telling you niggas that it's 2 podcasts that I do, and I barely talk on the other one, but that's by design because I talk too much on this one.
Yeah, I mean, is what it is. I mean, that's just kind of how that whole thing goes. So I'm not complaining by any means or whatever, but I'm not gonna be eating brisket, but I plan on grabbing some cheeks and ringing in the new year. So
Oh yeah, I've been cooking this shit since this morning, so it's about to be lit. It's been resting this entire time. We've been podcasting, so.
it's just fair enough. I'm not even mad at it.
Let's go.
I'm mad. All right, so I'm taking off now. I will be back, definitely.
Let's go.
This was a lot of fun. All right.
I'm with it. We'll
right.
be talking to John in a little bit, so y'all sit tight. And we're back from what is an imaginary break because it wasn't a break. It was overnight, but it is what it is.
Whatever.
9 Deuce. 9 Deuce. How you feeling?
Same as I do every day.
That's not fucking helpful. 2021 now.
And
The year hasn't started.
And-
How do you have it every day, but the year hasn't started yet? I'm clipping because I'm stupid. We're all good. Anyway,
yeah.
no, it's the first day. You can start this whole year a whole new John.
Every day is an opportunity to start as a whole new John, but that won't
No,
happen.
but this day
until something
especially
significant
because this is the first day, the first actual like year of the next decade. So you can do things very differently now because celestial alignment says yes.
No, last year was the
bask in
first
the bullshit
year
for a
of
second.
the decade.
No, this is the first year of the decade.
When they talk about the 2020s, they will include 2020. You know that, right?
Right. but that's year 0. This is year 1.
Okay. Okay, whatever, fam.
Bask in the bullshit.
Either way, whatever. Okay. Cool.
Look,
Cool.
we got to find stupid things to amuse us. And the stupid thing that amuses me is taking stupid things people say and then trying to make them seem unironic when I say them.
Okay. Fair. I apologize. I apologize. It's been a long, uneventful day.
Oh yeah, your day is ended because Korea time. So you have already experienced. Yeah. So tell us what 2021 has to bring to us in the far fucking west.
If today was any indication, nothing significant. A bunch of boring shit.
Yeah, but you got to kind of make it your own.
Yeah, no, that is true. Quite honestly, I haven't. I can't say that that I've been bored within the last 24 hours. I've kicked it and chatted with some good people. Shit, I literally like 3 hours ago matched with a chick, and we've been talking for the last few hours. So whatever.
Did she touch your pee-pee yet?
So, anyways, video games have also been helpful around this time. Writing has also been helpful. I told you that Mark does mixing. I tried to explain that to you, but you didn't listen.
Mark,
so
we know
I did.
We know like 8 Marks. Which Mark?
Cooper.
Yeah, we knew that.
No, you know about 8 Marks. You knew about 8 Marks. I know just Mark Cooper. No, but see, I was like, yo, Mark, do you know anybody who does mixing? He was like, I do mixing. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm working on some shit and I may need your help. So sounds like he's down for it. I don't know if he knows if he understands the extent to which I will need his help, but he's game. So
I could have told you he does mixing. He does his own beat tapes.
I understand that. But in the same token, when we had this discussion about how Project X was going to come together, you were like, I don't know. Mark may be able to do it, maybe not able to do it. I don't know.
That's true in relation to Project X as a consequence of the moving parts involved in Project X. To put it in perspective for you, he does his own beat tapes. He is perfectly capable of it. But Project X is a little different as a consequence of, again, all the moving parts involved and potentially the recording process itself for certain aspects of it that I want included.
That you want included?
Yes.
Interesting. You mind running these parts by me, considering that this is my album we're talking about?
Not on the podcast.
Okay, yeah, I figured as much, but I'm just saying. I'm curious to know what it is that you think should be added to this. It's just here's the thing, podcast listeners. Like, here's the thing that you gotta understand about Kilo. This nigga be having like mad plans and shit, and don't ever let anybody in. People who are directly affected by said plans never runs the details of said plans by niggas. He just like, don't worry, my nigga, it's gonna be a surprise.
It is a surprise, though.
Don't you think you need to just let me know some shit sometimes ahead of time?
Certain shit, yeah. But other shit, no. I might not be able to execute.
Okay, that's fair.
If it's uncertain, that's the only time that I don't let niggas know. If it's something that's certain, it's like, this is what's going on and that's what it's going to be. But other parts are uncertain as a consequence of just 2020 was a fucking mess. And there was a lot of like various parts and things I wanted like in the chamber happen, and it couldn't because niggas was like flat broke. Niggas was flat broke, and we just didn't have any kind of I didn't know whether or not certain people were down for certain stuff.
Right.
But now I know that certain people are down for certain things. Also, Mark Cooper is calling right this second. You must have spoke him up.
Hey, man. I'm Nine Deuce. When
Hello,
I
Mark
want
Cooper.
something.
You are live on the Shitpost Boys podcast with myself and Nine Deuce. Don't say anything
What up, though, bro?
incriminating.
You gotta say something more than
Cheeseburgers are delicious.
Yeah,
wonderful.
I agree.
Wonderful.
Mark, thank you for that insight. That was deep.
I'm about to make some right now.
Shit, you know. Make sure you toast the buns.
You use the S word. That's discriminating.
Mm.
Incriminating. It's called the Shitpost Boys podcast. I think the S word is allowable at this point.
Okay. I'm just saying. It's not discriminating against people who are shitty.
I can barely hear my brother Mark, man. I want to know how my brother Mark is doing.
He can't hear you at all because you're in my headphones. But John wants to know how you're doing.
Messages.
It is what it is. Anyway, is it urgent, Mark, or do you want to get?
Well, it's not urgent. I was just saying I finally got it to work. So if you were able to look at it to see if it looked okay with all the stuff I'm streaming at 1 p.m.
Oh, for sure. I'm down.
Yeah, I'm about to test it right now. So that's what I was saying.
All right, bet. I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Mark's about to start his illustrious streaming career.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, he's been testing it all week. I think he finally got the assets, so he's about to run a test shortly.
Cool.
And actually, I can include that as a part of the pod today, because why not? We've been kind of breaking form with the traditional shit, you know, some audio assets here and there. My
Right.
bad, y'all. That's really loud. Anyway, Twitch just be open as shit when you go to the website, and I don't like that. Like, bro, I'm not trying to even. I don't even know what that is. Relax. And they just doing it again. Thank you. I greatly appreciate my eardrums being blown out. In any case, fuck, where were we? I forget. We were saying something halfway important. No, we weren't. Right. I didn't think certain shit was possible, but now I know that certain shit is. So no, I don't want to talk about it until I got it secured. Just because it's possible doesn't mean it will happen, and just because it is possible to happen does not mean that I want to spill the beans until it's a sure shot, basically.
Understood.
But
I get
it's
it.
looking very promising, so I'm with that. And you know, this changes things as far as possibility at that point for you in your illustrious music career. Ayo, Loki, Amazon gave a lot of fucking, like, it's a lot of King of Fighter games that I haven't downloaded that are perfectly available. That's crazy. I haven't been on Twitch in a long time on desktop, so I didn't see like all the free shit they were trying to give me. Which I'm cool with. It's whatever. Assassin's
Okay.
Creed Valhalla.
That's what's up.
Gear pack. Pilot helmets. Character packs for Phoenix Rising. Operator for Rainbow Six Siege, which I don't play. I actually got to speak up. I forgot. I got a fucking noise gate on this because I got the heater on, so I don't fucking die. Hardlight exotic bundle drop. Not on my life, Destiny 2. Anyway,
Yeah.
So what's new in Korea, man? What's going on? What's the newest meta over there? I heard you've been playing a lot of League of Legends. Tell us about that.
You made that up for the listeners, but whatever.
Who the fuck cares?
I'll go with your boy. I'll go with your little. I'll go along with your little bullshit lie. So yeah, just got into League of Legends last week. It was cool. I did some real cool shit in the game. I was an elf. I decided to just play as an elf.
You already have completely broken
then-
immersion for everybody who actually plays League of Legends. There are no fucking elves in League of Legends.
Okay, then again, if we're just continuing to bullshit, good, wonderful. I was an elf, a mage elf.
You
My- Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I was a mage elf, and
it's so bad.
my squadron of 5 was going up against another squadron of 5.
At least you know it's
And,
5.
And like the way it is like, I thought it was cool because like if you die, then it's over, and so basically it's like, you know, you only have one life to live and shit like that. It's real
It's
tactical.
not how the game works at all. You know
um,
nothing of this game, Jon Snow.
Shut up. Anyways,
One of these days, I'm gonna get everybody
yeah.
on ARAM and just watch y'all fucking fumble the ball, non fucking stop. I can't wait.
So
it's
as
gonna
I
be
was
amazing.
saying, elf mage in a team of 5 against another team of 5, and only one life to live. It was cool though. I got a couple good headshot kills before
Also, there are no headshots.
before I got taken
There's
out.
a headshot ability that one
Um,
champion has, but there's no headshots.
Shh.
Hell is going on?
And then like my teammate, he pulled off some super cool shit where like he used like a limit break move or some shit like that, and it was super effective against like 3 of the opposing players and shit like that. It was crazy. It was nuts. Like I was the only one that ended up dying, so like everybody was shitting on me or whatever have you. But I thought that, but it doesn't matter because I was like the freshest one that showed up in the posse. But then I just decided to do free roam shit. I decided to like go
Free
into a
roam
town.
at League of Legends. All right, you gotta go. We're done here.
I decided
If
to go
it
into
wasn't
a town,
cringe
play
inducing
poker.
enough for those of us who actually do play to hear this nigga completely miss the entire concept from start to finish. That was enough to make me go, all right, it's time to stop.
And then I got into a fist fight with a nigga outside of a saloon. I
Nigga.
beat this nigga ass so
Nigga,
bad.
it's not
like,
it's not an
I then
RPG.
heard,
It's not an RPG.
And then I heard the announcer. Shut up! And then I heard the announcer say, "Finish him," and a fatality happened. Like I don't even know how the fuck I did it. It must have, I think it was like some shit that happened automatically. Then the next thing you know, like the Phantom Thieves popped up from out of nowhere. We rode off on a bus and shit like that. It was crazy. It was nice. I think I'll keep playing League of Legends. I think I'll keep playing League. It was nuts. It was nice. It was nuts, but it was nice.
He was playing Call of Neverwinter Smash Bros. That wasn't League of Legends, nigga. He was playing Call of
Shut up!
World of Warcraft. Smash Bros.
Shut up.
Tournament edition featuring Injustice. Like, what the fuck were you playing?
Shut up.
That was terrible. Anyway, on to more important things. Best album of 2020. Not best rap album. Best album of 2020.
Well, I mostly listen to rap anyways. You know what my favorite album this year was. So
They don't know.
Music to be Murdered by Eminem. That was my favorite album. Personally. I can't tell you what the best album was, like objectively. I can't, and fuck objectivity, especially with regards to music.
No, I'm just saying.
Fuck what everybody
I
else
was just saying
thinks.
across
I don't give a
genres.
shit.
What was your favorite album? But yes, I know
Music
that it's
Murdered
music to be murdered by.
By Eminem.
How did you feel about Side B?
Follow. Side B was amazing. Like the nigga added a whole ass new good album to an album that was already good. Like,
So basically, you pulled a Lil Uzi
the
Vert.
fuck? I suppose.
M's following
Um,
trends.
I guess I don't know.
The deluxe.
I-
That's a whole
I'm
other
not too
album.
familiar.
Uzi did it first.
Whatever, nigga. Anyways, loved the allegory, of course.
Did you hear the Uzi
look,
Vert album?
Detroit's been winning. No, I didn't. I don't listen to Lil Uzi Vert. Anyways,
I feel like you should try it one time.
no. What was I saying?
Just
Oh yeah,
hateful
Detroit's been
person.
winning all fucking year. I am. Shout out to like all of my people back home. I love my city. My city has been winning all fucking year, especially in regards to hip hop, fam. Detroit 2 was an awesome album. Forces Be With You. Clear Soul's last album. Final album, apparently. I doubt that's gonna be their final album, but whatever. They calling it quits or whatever have you as a clique. I love Clear Soul Forces. That album was great. Boldy dropped shit multiple times throughout the year. Fucking great. Just fuck love Boldy James's albums and shit. That shit was amazing. The shit with Real Bad Man. Versace tape. The Price of Tea in China. Regular and deluxe. All of that shit was nice.
Okay, fair enough. Since you are a heavy
fucks
rap
with
fan,
all
who was producer of the year? Who do you give producer of the year to?
Damn.
I feel like between Hit Boy and Alchemist, you could go
Yeah.
either way.
Yeah. Yeah. But to pick one of those is like I can't do it. I legit can't do it. I feel like I have to pick Hit Boy just off of like sheer quantity alone.
But Alchemist
But
put out a lot of shit too.
I can't just do that because
Alchemist produced
Yeah.
on your album of the year. He produced
Alfredo,
on
of course.
Alfredo. He produced on Price of Tea in
Yeah.
China. He produced on at least one or two tracks on damn near every Griselda project that came out, if I'm not mistaken.
and he dropped his own album
Yeah.
too as well.
And then
Yeah.
Action Bronson dropped something this year too. I feel like
I think
Action
so.
Bronson dropped something this year.
Also, we cannot let this podcast go without saying peace to fucking Run the Jewels. That shit was fucking amazing. Run the Jewels 4, RTJ 4.
That's
Rest
up
in
there
peace
for
to
me.
all the people that.
I
Rest
don't
in
know
peace
what
to
my
all
album
the
of the
people
year
that we
is.
lost this year.
Oh yeah, of course. I don't know what my album of the year is.
Oh,
The last quarter.
I was thinking
kinda
about. I was
threw it
thinking
for
about.
the loop.
Yeah. Yeah, when I in regards to everybody we lost this year, I was thinking about like when RTJ4 came out and there was a bit of civil unrest earlier in the year and shit. But nigga, we literally just lost a fucking legend in hip hop. So rest in peace to MF Doom. Rest in peace to fucking MF
I
Doom.
want to say more than rest in peace for Doom. I want to take people back.
Yeah.
I want to take people back. Probably a good.
I feel like you're more equipped
years.
to do that than me because I'm gonna be honest. I haven't been as knowledgeable as long as other people with regards to Doom. But I am familiar, and I'm familiar enough to know that Doom passing is a fucking tragedy, and that's putting it lightly. That I do understand. So I'll let you take over in that regard.
For sure. Yeah, I might have to take people back about 20 years or so. Back when all we really had was radio. If not, you had CDs, of course. Let me not, give people the wrong impression here. You had CDs, but like if you were a kid and 9 years old, motherfuckers wouldn't give you money to go buy CDs at the store. Like you kind of had to depend on the older siblings and cousins and shit around you to really kind of get an idea of what music is like outside of radio. Other than that, like you had to hear certain things, certain little bits of things, kind of in passing in ads or whatever else. However, people got shit to you. When I was 9, it was roughly 2000 or so. Yeah, roughly around the year 2000 or so. After Y2K, world changing events as far as like the internet becoming really, really a thing that people had in their homes at large. Prior to that, it wasn't really a thing that people had like that. The web actually looked a lot different. Like going to the library was the way you got on the internet for a lot of kids for like a decade, moving forward from there.
Niggas will never know.
They will never
Little
know.
Niggas will never know.
They'll never know, man. I'm saying all of that to give you context because context is important in order for you to kind of understand the importance of Doom and the importance of how diverse opinions and diverse tastes, not only just like in the music world, but like in the world of media and entertainment, can kind of guide things and put things in front of you that normally wouldn't have been put in front of you. I feel like you could talk to any rap historian from Detroit and they can tell you that, like, as much as we identify Detroit with Dilla and M and Royce and people of that nature, you don't have the celebration of Dilla if Dilla's music didn't make it out of Detroit.
Of course.
I'm saying that to say the methods in which Dilla was able to go further than that were his work with the Roots, his work with Badu, his work with Common, his work with so many people who at the time, as neo soul was kind of this new thing and kind of this evolution of older music and older sounds fusing with this thing called hip hop, which they still thought was going to be a fad that burns out at the time. You have eclectic sounds, eclectic producers, eclectic rappers who needed platforms. And one of those platforms that gave Dilla so much reach was one of the same platforms that wound up giving Doom so much reach and put Doom and Dilla front and center for a generation of kids. And that platform was Adult Swim. The first time I had been exposed to Doom was around the exact same time that I was being exposed to Adult Swim stuff in terms of like their original content, in terms of like some of the licensing that they got was very like unique stuff. It wasn't stuff that you could get anywhere else. It wasn't stuff that you could just go to Walmart or Target and buy. So, you know, in that era, I can't tell you exactly which year because all of that is a blur at this point because I'm pushing 30.
I would say just in my personal, like, going back and digging and looking back at shit, I would say that was roughly 2004-ish because, and the reason I say that is because I believe Mad Villain, the Mad Villainy album, a lot of that album is put in several different places across the first season of the Boondocks, which was an Adult Swim show. So I would want to say that was around 2004-ish.
You're correct. But even before that and after that, Doom was so heavily featured in that programming as far as just, and I mean, obviously Dilla was a part of like damn near every early Adult Swim bump after like the first year or so.
Oh yeah.
And that's how that ties together for anybody who's listening. So, you know, you have Doom, you have Dilla, you have Dungeon Family. You have a lot of like the eclectic quote unquote weirdos who rap really fucking good, who influenced a lot of the culture henceforth, that were propped up by this platform that gave that visibility to people who normally wouldn't have got it. Like this is when Adult Swim used to only be like a couple hour like programming block. It wasn't like an all night thing. Like that didn't come till later. So like you have these really tight, really like this is the best of the best that we can give because we only got a couple hours to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because then TV went off. Like, like we were still in the era where like programming stopped because like there wasn't nobody trying to advertise in the middle of the night except like Girls Gone Wild and shit, and you couldn't do that on Cartoon Network. So like it was just like off the air. And they would just like play music and like, you know, the color bars or whatever else. So like it was different. It was a different era. That's what people gotta understand. It was a very different era. Like consumption of media was very different then.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't catch it, like unless you was like me and you was quote unquote rich and you had like a TV, I wasn't rich. Like this was all the shit was used. All the shit was like my dad was just
I understand
a scavenger. So
I
like,
understand what quote means.
Yeah. So I'm just breaking it down for people who don't know me. I'm giving a little bit of insight. Like a lot of like what I was capable of doing was just because my dad was like really into technology at the time. And technology at the time was like, oh shit, this is a TV VCR combo. You can record shit directly to a tape while it's playing whatever's playing on TV. And that shit was amazing to us. I'm off topic. You distracted me. Right. So if you didn't catch it, you had to like record that shit and play it back. So like that's what I would do a lot of times because I was young and I couldn't stay up late. But I was really into like Adult Swim because I was really into this music and I didn't know where this music came from. I didn't know this music was from down the street. I didn't know it was Dilla. And then that wound up being the reason that the first album I ever bought on iTunes was Donuts. I got iTunes specifically to buy that album because I couldn't find that album anywhere. to put it in perspective for people as far as like what where my influences come from, where my uh where my affinity for Doom and Dilla and Dungeon Fam, all of that comes and coalesces in that era as a consequence of these I don't want to say like-minded because they were all obviously adults at this point because they're working at fucking what is it, Turner, who owned them back then? Yeah, Turner. So they're all working at Turner, and the vision for Adult Swim under Cartoon Network or however that corporate structure works. But these people were listening to Dilla and they were listening to Doom, and as a consequence, I grew up looking actively for all the Doom albums. I was on Kazaa and LimeWire and all of those good old things, trying to find, you know, all the Doom albums that had dropped, because I missed all of those as a consequence of not, you know, didn't know where to get music like that. Like, they weren't selling that shit in Walmart and Target. Not that I saw, not until like it really became like, oh, there's demand for this. So now I can find a physical copy of the King Ghidorah album. Now I can find Food. Now I can find Operation Doomsday, because Doom is huge now. Because like me, a bunch of other kids got exposed to it in the Madville album and the Danger Doom album with Danger Mouse. Like, so for me, those roots run deep because they're intrinsically tied to my self-discovery in adolescence. I never grew out of that. I still keep and have kept Doom in regular rotation on the playlist that I play for myself. That is my playlist. I don't necessarily play it for everybody else because it goes across a bunch of genres, and I know some people don't want to hear certain things, but across genres, across my entire like internal musical library, you have Doom, you have a lot of avant-garde hip-hop stuff, because that was the stuff that attracted me at that age. So for me, this is a huge loss of kind of one of the pillars of my childhood. I haven't felt this bad since Chester Bennington from Linkin Park died. Where that's also somebody who, and even more visibly so, was somebody whose music resonated with me for somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 fucking years. That's over half my life. That's like losing a friend. Like losing a family member. And I wasn't like just, oh, I only listen to old Doom. No, like when Doom was dropping shit with Nehru and all the newer stuff, like I was listening to all of that day one. Don't care what else came out that day. That's Doom. There's new Doom. It's a collaboration tape. I'm about to listen to this whole thing. Like that's how I was on it, and like that's where I've been for a long time, as far as like my respect and admiration for everything that he made. Whether it was shit he was just producing, whether it was shit he was just rapping on and letting other people produce, like all of that. All of that is in my library. And like when I rant about like how people don't love hip hop the way that I love hip hop sometimes, in terms of like some of the rappers, like I got really heated like a couple episodes ago when I was like, you know, these people don't love this shit like I do. They really fucking don't. And it's days like this that really show you like how deeply the people, even the people I listen to who are obviously way younger than Doom, all are collectively like hurting. And all the people who I have mentioned, and I'm not going to mention again on this podcast in 2021, as far as just, again, they're kind of exploiters of the culture. They're kind of here to get a bag and go. They're kind of here to just be here because they have a fan base here, and if they got a fan base anywhere else, they would stop doing this shit in a heartbeat. Notice they're not talking about Doom at all. Not a post, not shit. They'll post everything else, but no, they don't.
Oh, nigga,
There's a correlation. Like, there's a correlate. I'm pointing it out so that people understand that where this shit comes from is not like bitterness or jealousy towards them. It's just, at the end of the day, I want to get to a point where I can start calling a spade a spade. I want to get to the point where I can start pointing out, like, this is why I feel this way. When there's certain people who come in and they try to get a certain aesthetic, and they get a couple of fans, they go from there, and you know, more success and more power to them. But like, we have to stop calling them, we have to stop trying to include them in the conversation of the greater fabric of hip hop, because they're not that. They are at best, again, vultures. No matter how catchy the music is, no matter how vibey the beats are, no matter how much you may like their flow and delivery, or aesthetics of their brand, all of that shit is imitation, and all of that shit is like curated by people who really love this shit as a job versus them. And this isn't about them. I'm making a point when I say that a lot of my frustration comes with letting all of these people in and trying to center all of these people in the conversation who clearly don't have the same love for this shit to be doing this shit at damn near 50 years old and improving and still taking things to the next level and still experimenting with it. Like, you don't get that anymore at all, honestly. Like, there's a couple of people I can point to that are our age or a little younger, that show me at least that they really, really care about this shit. And I think they deserve a little bit more shine than the people who don't. And that's definitely like JIDK. I know it's unpopular to say, but Logic. I can see Logic being a 60-year-old and releasing a beat tape just to fuck everybody up. I can see Denzel Curry doing shit that nobody has ever done in rap before and making it amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of people who are in this generation who push the envelope, and you can tell they love it because of how they push the envelope, how they consistently try to improve, how they consistently try to do things a little bit different than somebody else did it and make it dope. Flatbush Zombies. Tierra Whack. I could see Tierra Whack doing this shit at 50. Obviously Jean Grey. That's not even Jean Grey is literally like the epitome of that. Like, the epitome of it. The epitome of somebody who just loves the culture so much that they just can't leave it alone. And will come out with an album out the blue just because. And it will be amazing. And it will be handcrafted with love and care. Not everybody is from that camp, and I understand not everybody has to be. But at the same time, I don't want us to be force-fed a lot of the super overproduced super heavily invested in, super heavily marketed shit. At some point, there has to be balance among the very tip top of who we consider to be important to the culture. Like, not even necessarily like who's the best, but like there should be some more unity between the astronomical spaces between where rap has been and where rap is now, and where it will go. Doom bridged the gap of generations. Not many other rappers are ever going to do that. Doom was around with Tupac. And is influencing niggas who are younger than me. Still. You don't get that every so often. You don't get that but every few. We're talking a very small handful of people. That's the list you could actually make of people that have been around that long, who are still doing it, who are still influencing people, who love the culture. Not just from a hustle standpoint, not just from the standpoint of longevity as far as a career, but just people who are never going to stop doing this shit because they love this shit. Anyway, we don't have outstanding or nothing to play, so I'm gonna just let it move along and go. Fuck, I hit the microphone. I'm just let it move on to the next segment. But I did want to make sure that I gave proper respect and got my thoughts off properly when it comes to Doom, because Doom is very close to my heart.
Understood, fam.
Anyway, most important moment of 2020 for you, John.
Most important moment? That's a good question. I don't think I had a most important moment. I think I have a most significant moment, which is the moment that I hopped on 3 planes and ended up in South Korea. This is a little different. A little. What about you? Most important moment of 2020?
Most important moment of 2020. There's a lot to choose from. I don't want to go OD on this segment after I just went OD on the last part just now.
Dog, it's your show.
I know, but that's not. I still have a. I still have to be mindful of how it sounds. For people, I don't want to go from long-winded thing into long-winded thing. Plus, it takes away the importance of what I just talked about. I don't want to do that. Probably the most important thing we did this year. Shit. I'm gonna make it a little abstract. I'm gonna say the most important thing I did all year was kind of lead by example with the Discord, Twitch, switch to Twitch thing, and trying to get people to understand that we have to do shit a different way in the community around here. I finished. Well, it's not completely finished because I still got to go back and tweak some stuff. But I did my first music piece, if you want to call it that. The EP LP conversation goes a billion different directions once you start to really break down the history of it. But you know, I did the Digital Devil demo, which is still in Dropbox. Still going to probably get some last minute tweaks before I drop it, but it is going to actually drop. Probably on Bandcamp in the next couple of months. I did a service to my community with just being one of the few people to speak as far as direction goes, where when a lot of people didn't know what to do. A lot of people were just like, well, I'll just wait for stuff to open back up. It's going to open back up after like the summer passes, right? Nope. Nope. Because of my constant badgering, because of my constant, consistent stance on this, we had the first kind of official, unofficial soundproof show online. And it wasn't, we ran into some technical issues because of hardware, but it is what it is with that. Like, that was kind of expected. Not to the scale that we had it, but nonetheless, we were prepared for what it is we would experience, and we were able to get that done. And I was very happy about that. And about, probably a few hundred people have seen at least a little bit of that. And I'm very happy about that. It's probably one of the most important things I did in 2020. Content, period. This podcast started in 2020. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Kill It Crimson started 2020, which I'm directing and producing and editing and etc. Lake Effect Tech is another podcast I'm a part of that started in 2020. And that's I've done a lot. I've done a lot for an introvert who didn't want to do shit 2 years ago. Other than just work and figure it out. I don't want to say, in 2020 I figured it out, but in 2020 I was definitely consistent enough to the point that I didn't have to work as hard because I had already done so much of the groundwork of just following my gut and following my small voices that I normally ignore when it comes to like things I enjoy doing. I did my first paid gig as far as photography, videography stuff. That wasn't even something I necessarily intended to do. That was something that was born out of me just taking some initiative and being like, I got a nice chunk of money right here. How am I going to flip this? What am I going to do with this? Am I going to go Bitcoin? Am I going to go stocks? Am I going to go get something that's going to allow me to work? And, I went out, I got a gimbal, I got a camera, I got a tripod, I got some lights, I got a microphone, I got this, I got that. I went out and I got all of these things, and all of these things culminated into, these multiple projects that I'm working on now. So I have things on my resume that in 2020 alone supersede practically anything I've done in the last 10 years. So, yeah, I led the charge, and I led the charge. I led by example, and I stayed consistent, and that was probably the most important thing I could do, considering the circumstances.
Understood.
And I say that to say, don't let the fact that you couldn't do what you wanted to do get you down. You just got to figure out a new way to maneuver. Because 2020 was supposed to be the year that we hit all the cons and went to all the cities and did all the shit, and we couldn't do none of it. We couldn't do none of it.
You gotta adjust, man.
So,
you gotta adjust.
Yeah. So, we got the live content popping. We got eyes on us that were never on us before. A lot of things were exposed about people that have been around us for a long time, as far as their commitment to the cause and commitment to a healthy work environment for us. Yeah, man. 2020 was a transformative year because, and like I said earlier in the podcast, you didn't necessarily hear this, but we were at war in 2020. We weren't at war with people. I mean, we kind of were, but we were at war with ideas. We were at war with a virus that has taken literally the toll of what a war normally does. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get into the hundreds of thousands of people dying, like that's war territory. That's open conflict territory as far as the losses, as far as the danger, and this is danger at home, not abroad, not overseas, not a day away. No, down the block, around the corner, it hit home, and I think that's I don't want to say, oh, look, this needed to happen, but I had been saying for years prior to that, for a long time, the only thing that brings people together really is war and natural disasters. And I mean, this was both wrapped in one in a sense. You know, shit is going a different way when you got the entire world pouring money into a single fund in order to find something to ensure that we don't all go extinct. And a lot of people are like, oh man, you shut it down for a 90% survival rate, 99% survival rate virus, and but yeah, it's 99% survival rate because it wasn't allowed to run rampant. That's important to note. It wasn't allowed to go unchecked and untreated like the flu does. A lot of people early on was like, man, it's killed less people than the regular flu. Yeah, because we took precautions. Like, do you not understand what it is you said? Like, yeah, it's killed less than the regular flu. Why do we have to have all these regulations to keep us safe, quote unquote? Because those regulations were there. It is less deadly than the flu, but that shouldn't be the crux of your argument. The crux of your argument should be, why don't we take these precautions when it's flu season? Because clearly the flu is kicking our fucking ass too. The regular fucking flu, right? That's where my mind goes. Right. I don't know why niggas use that as, oh, we shouldn't do anything because we don't do anything for flu, but you're saying that this, world ending catastrophic event damn near is killing less people, so we should do less. Like, that don't even make sense. And that should tell you everything you need to know about, like, run-of-the-mill people and why you shouldn't take advice from them. Niggas don't know what they're talking about. They don't have the perspective. They don't have the emotional maturity. Emotional maturity. Look at me. 2020 has done the number on me. They don't have the emotional maturity to be able to... They don't have the emotional maturity to be able to tuck it in when, like, real shit is happening. People start talking about numbers. I know people are afraid when they start talking about numbers. Because you're talking about numbers and you're no longer talking about people. And we're talking about people. Like, my best friend since I was a child, his uncle died from this shit. Somebody I've known my entire life has died from this shit. You don't need to convince me with numbers as to whether or not we need to take precautions. It's already killed someone close to me. And that's a story, that's a similar story that millions of other people can say at this point. How fucking lost are you on the goal here if you're like, oh man, less regulations because this thing that kills us more doesn't have any regulations. What the fuck is wrong with you? How are you not understanding the words coming out of your mouth and how they sound to everybody else around you?
Well, some niggas didn't do good in math.
That's not even... Yeah, I'm going to just leave it there. I'm going to just leave it there. I'm going to just leave it there. What else do we have to...
Think deep, but don't let it fry your motherboard.
Basically. And that's why, I'll be trying to give all the greats their roses now, because so many people... Anything can happen in the blink of an eye. Nobody expected to hear Doom died basically 3 months ago at this point.
Hell no.
Nobody expected that.
You never could have told me I would have woke up 7 a.m. in Korea in what is for me 2021, and the very first piece of news that I see is that MF Doom died. Never. You never could have told me that shit. Fuck.
Is what it is, man.
A lot of
Shit
people
post of
died,
the
dude.
year.
Shit post of the year.
Shit post of the year.
Wait. It was that shit. It was I know, right? I know, right? It was something old girl said. It was something the old girl said. I'm being vague as fuck right now.
Yes, you are.
I know, but we shitted on a lot of people this year, dude. We shitted on a lot of people. Hold on.
Hey, look, they shitted on themselves. We just pointed it out. They did all the heavy work. We just showed up with a camera.
Oh, here it is. It's the one that you said was the worst take of the year.
Go ahead and break it down for the people.
The People's Oracle says normalize platonic spouses. Women need to marry each other and let these men get in where they fit in. Do y'all really trust these men with your survival? Don't you trust women more? Shouts out to the queer community for fighting for gay marriage, because that has opened up many more possibilities for women to liberate ourselves. For real, though, I'm trying to come up with viable solutions for women. The violence and neglect we experience at the hands of men makes partnering with them dangerous. Many women in my CH chat last night spoke about how it's life or death to date men.
I'm gonna go ahead and say the shit post of the year is Clubhouse, which is mentioned in that. That's what that CH shit is. Clubhouse was a mistake.
Oh, okay.
Clubhouse was a fucking mistake. Clubhouse is Echo Chamber the app. Clubhouse is Echo Chamber the app. It's a good thing that you're unfamiliar. Currently it's iPhone only. It's basically Discord with way less features. Like how we're in a room right now, Clubhouse is a bunch of these rooms filled with people. But since it feels exclusive, all the celebrities and all of the quote unquote great thinkers are over there. Plus, there's an added feature, because why the fuck not, that if you're on there and people don't like that you're on there, they can see who it is that brought you on there. Like who sent you the invite, because it's invite only. They can see who sent you the invite and then basically go dogpile on them.
What?
Your profile it's a fixed feature. Your profile features who sent you the invite to bring you onto the app.
That's stupid.
That is stupid. That is we can say that for another episode as people become more and more familiar with it, so that we can actually kind of get the uptick in algorithm, because that's all I care about when it comes to like stupid shit. All I care about is the algorithm. I don't love that shit. I hate that shit. So I'm gonna, at least in some way, shape, or form, maximize my return on talking about it. So yeah, Clubhouse is the shit post of the fucking year. It's the worst idea I've ever seen. It's the worst execution of it I've ever seen. It's great if you want to make something feel more exclusive and you also want to better regulate without really regulating shit. Because I remember there was a big thing that Russell Simmons was over there, and it was like, who invited them? Go find them and drag them by the toes or some. I mean, I'm heavily fucking paraphrasing, but essentially that's what it was.
Drag them by the toes, nigga.
Yeah, drag them for miles by the toes. So that's what the energy was when I saw it, and I was just like, probably gonna stay away from that app, because I don't know. I hate any ecosystem of like communication or technology or anything like that in some way, shape, or form incentivizes like bullying and shit, or makes bullying more efficient and easy. That shit is unnecessary.
Right.
And it's not to say like traditional bullying, but no, just like, let's not even call it bullying. No, just dead ass harassment. Like they be harassing people. Like if they don't like you, but they can't access you or in some way, shape, or form get to you, they're gonna harass whoever it is they think is close to you, and that app just amplifies that infinitely because it literally has them right on their profile. Like, who are they connected to? Let's harass this person, unfollow this person, and ostracize this person because we can't do anything to the other person. Not anything they'll care about anyway. So, yeah. But no, that particular post was pretty bad, but it wasn't the worst one I think we've had per se. To an extent, I still feel like the one post one post where she was like, "Oh, my kid said I'm strong," and I just broke down in tears and some shit like that, and I'm just like, "Oh my god."
Oh shit! Yes, that was horrible. Oh, that was
that's
horrible.
still probably the worst thing that we've had in here, where it's just like, if this is true, it's bad, and if it's not true, it's even fucking worse. And vice versa somehow. Somehow all around it's just worse as soon as you set eyes on that post, because there's so many questions to ask. There's so many questions to ask.
Dog,
there's so many questions to ask for clarity's sake.
Dog, Freddie Gibbs post of the year has to be in his story. This bitch Michelle Throat Obama. God, I feel bad for even saying that shit out loud. That's just how shitty this is about to be. Shorty said, "I rub my clit while I poop to make the pain go away."
I'm gonna edit that out. That is terrible, and I hope it never happens again. Shit poster of the year by far is Freddie Gibbs.
Yes.
And it's not
that man
close.
is the king of shit posts. That man is the king of shit posts on Instagram. That nigga is the legend.
He's banned from Instagram.
He's banned from Instagram. Nigga win. Yo.
I'm here. You.
All right, yeah. You said he's banned from Instagram.
Yeah, he's
Since
banned.
when?
Since like a week ago or something like that. So he been over on Twitter getting his fleets off. Fleets was a terrible idea, by the way. It's still a terrible idea. I still don't like the fact that it's there. And it just further exposes the fact that Twitter as a whole is kind of a fucked up place, because Twitter will ban you. You can get banned for making fun of somebody, but somebody can dead ass post videos of somebody cutting off their dick, and it's perfectly within terms of service.
Hey.
You can get banned for wild comments that aren't even remotely harmful, but you can post pictures of dead bodies, and it's perfectly within the terms of service. Post video of somebody being killed, perfectly within the terms of service. Shove gigantic objects into your various orifices to the point of ad nauseum, to the point that it's just painful to even see, perfectly within terms of service. Call the wrong person a dickhead, you're banned, buddy. And that's why I hate Twitter. That's why I hate Twitter. Twitter is not consistent. It's not even remotely logically consistent. I feel like they just do whatever the fuck people ask for, and that's why it's so fucked up. Any platform that's in any platform that's too crowdsourced is by default going to be ass, and Twitter is the perfect shining example of that. Give people a bunch of shit they want and or ask for, and then don't have the balls to kind of be like, yo, chill the fuck out. Don't even know what to say at this point as far as Twitter goes. Hopefully something better comes along and blows it out of the fucking water that has some sort of consistent rule set. Until then,
Perhaps in
we
2021.
continue to suffer. People are hoping Clubhouse is going to be that, but like I said, it's just a worse version of Discord. So I'm migrating to
No,
Discord.
that ain't gonna be it. That ain't gonna be it.
You never know. Until it hits Android and really goes into the high waters, we won't know.
Yeah, but it has to change some of those features that you were talking about that, make it off rip ass.
No, because that's what people want, John.
So in other words, you just want a worse version of Twitter for the sake of just getting rid of Twitter.
I didn't say
You
I
don't want
want
some
it.
shit that's better
I
than
didn't.
Twitter?
No, I didn't say I want it. I think that Discord is better than Twitter already. That's why we have the Discord. That's why this podcast started. It was like, you know what?
Yeah, I know
Since
that.
everything is banned on Twitter, we'll be hopping over on Discord. So something better already exists for me. I'm saying that I hope in some way, shape, or form something else comes along to replace it, whether it be good or bad, just to replace it. Because I hate it that
Yeah,
much.
I don't really like it. Okay, that's fair. That's a personal subjective thing. That's fine. Fine. Whatever. Fuck it. I'll let you have that.
So I don't try to fight.
One of my
I don't
favorite
try to fight
moments of the-
illogical shit with logical shit. So nah, just if anything comes along and replaces it, great. Don't care.
One of my favorite moments of the year is you sending me Gretchen Whitmer with buffs on her face. That to me is
Oh,
that
my
is
God.
a classic shitpost boys moment.
Oh, I think that's the only time that we actually changed the thumbnail on YouTube too, because it was just so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one with its
That was-
own like custom thumbnail, because it was like, nah, everybody has to see this.
Yes. That shit was ridiculous, fam.
Jesus Christ! I hope we don't have no more of that shit now that the election, the year is over. I hope we don't have no more of these fucking shenanigans. At least for a little bit.
We won't
I need
for
a
another
fucking break. I need a fucking break
In
from the
4 years-
shenanigans.
In 4 years, we'll see it again. In 4 years, we'll see it again.
4 years.
Don't worry, you'll get.
I'm going underground. I'm hiding my head in a shelter until all that shit is over. Like, not even 4 years. I'm not even gonna wait 4 years. 2.5 years into this shit, I'm gone. I'm going someplace else. I gotta go someplace else. I'm gonna go to Canada for like 2.5 years until all of that shit is over and died down. I'm not gonna watch the news. I'm gonna just eat poutine and chill. And
Nigga, come over here to Korea with me.
they hate niggas in Korea. I don't want to go to Korea.
They hate niggas in Canada too, I'm sure. Yeah,
Not,
just,
not really.
they
They
hate
love
niggas
Drake.
everywhere.
Drake is their biggest export. Next to
Wherever
maple
there are
syrup
niggas,
and hockey.
we are hated. Wherever there are niggas,
John,
we
that's
are
a joke.
hated.
I would
This is
definitely
not-
at some point possibly consider visiting Korea. I have to live here, consequently. Would not like to. If I could go someplace else and just work remotely and do all the shit I want to do and just visit once in a while and have my mom be somewhere nearby, that would be great. But I know she's not moving nowhere, so it is what it is with that. But yeah, dog, I'm so sick of like election year shenanigans and all of that dumb shit. Like, I can't continue to pretend I'm okay during those times. That's the worst part. Like, I'm not into it. I don't want to pretend I am. I don't want to keep trying to tell people, oh, it'll get better, and I know for a fact it's not. So, anyway, things you look forward to seeing that you can't unsee in 2021.
What things that you can't
Things
that you look forward to?
you look forward to seeing that you won't be able to unsee in 2021.
Why the fuck? Okay, next question.
That's the last question. That's right there is right there in the Discord.
I need you to come up with a better question than that. The
That's
fuck
an
you
amazing
mean?
question. What are
that
things you look
forward
forward to
that
seeing that you won't be able to unsee? What is the dumbest possible shit that you know is inevitable that you don't want to see, but you know you're going to see and won't be able to unsee?
Why the fuck is that anywhere near on my brain?
Because this is the Shitpost Boys podcast and we expect to see shitposts.
Oh God. Okay. Here's the thing. I know people do dumb shit. I was the one that brought the Men in Black quote to the fucking podcast. A person is smart, people are dumb, panicky, and dangerous. Okay, I know I'm the nigga, and trust me, I'm skeptical of everybody. I know dumb shit happens, and I know dumb shit is bound to happen. But I can't really predict the exact idiotic thing that will happen or be said.
But there's always
that
build
will
up.
damn near trigger World War III.
But there's always build up.
Okay, but you
read the writing on the
But
wall
you
of
want
2020
to-
and anticipate something that's going to happen that you know is going to absolutely piss you off.
Oh God. Here's the thing, it's not gonna piss me off because I'm at a point where I really don't give a fuck about anything aside from just trying to figure out my own personal life. I've spent enough energy thinking about what other people are doing, giving a fuck about what other people are doing, and it not really panning out to benefit me in any way, shape, or form. So the world could fucking burn down tomorrow. Won't make a difference to me. But with that being said, if things continue and persist as they have before, I predict that there will be more riots, there will be more violence on a mass scale, and people are just going to lose their fucking minds. Some people are going to lose their minds and not know what the fuck they're losing their minds for.
It's 5G, man. It's 5G.
Whatever. Anyway,
it's 5G, man.
Fuck out of here.
I'm just saying, though.
Yeah, I believe people are just gonna all at once lose their shit over something that, okay, justifiably, yes, you should lose your shit over this, but why should you lose your shit over this? Like, I feel like it's gonna be something small, like somebody is going to make a mountain out of a molehill, and we're all going to be building houses on said molehill.
Be specific, dog.
We're all going to try and nigga, I don't know. Oh God. Okay. Oh God, if I just gotta fantasize about people saying or doing dumb shit. Okay, Joe Biden is going to somewhere between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, someone of the two is going to pass a law that's going to piss people off, or there's going to be talks of them passing a law that gets one set of people worked up and angry as hell, and
people are going to get targeted, which is going to send another group of people into a frenzy. You're going to have everybody trying to prove a point
That's the
and
most
say,
non-specific,
you know,
specific set of events I've ever heard.
I don't give a fuck about this. Okay, next.
That's clear.
Next.
That is very clear, nigga. You gotta tell me out loud. I already could get the vibes. Anyway, I look forward to PS5.
Enough personal issue.
I look forward to PS5 Pro. Relax. I look forward to PS5 Pro being announced this year, and everybody who spent all this money trying to get a regular PS5 or at least a 1 terabyte, like a truly 1 terabyte, which will probably just be a 2 terabyte. PS5 is going to drop and it's going to piss everyone off. It's going to make such a fucking shitstorm occur as a consequence of it. That's what I look forward to seeing. I look forward to seeing all of the people who just spent a bunch of money on this fucking console going ahead and spending even more money trying to get that upgraded console that I told niggas to wait for anyway. See something simple like that. You didn't have to go all the way to Race War. That's where we took it. That was definitely Race War. It was not specific, but it was Race War. There were Race War vibes.
Next.
That's all we got. Niggas, we got hour and 20. I was gonna make this short. I was gonna make this a short thing for it. It wound up being 2 hours because I spent an hour on this segment and an hour on the last segment. But no, I wanted everybody to be here to kind of get that shit off so that we could do it in like an hour and a half. So yeah, we done.
So this is really the episode.
This is half the episode. You didn't hear the other half of the episode. So like when I edit them together, it's gonna be one episode. But yeah, this is the episode. I wanted to keep it short. We got shit to do. I got shit to do. I got to work on Kill It Crimson 4. But moving forward, keeping in mind, we are gonna start doing the whole guest thing, and that's gonna be interesting.
Gotcha.
And then is at that point we will worry about the Benzino Royce shit. I don't want to talk about that on the same episode I'm talking about Doom.
Oh, definitely not. No. This is not the time.
Most definitely. So, because I was going to, and then that happened, and I was like, oh, I'm sad now, so I don't want to do that. In any case, yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. This episode will be dropping on New Year's Day. We're recording early as fuck in the morning on New Year's Day to make up for me and Madge last night. So yeah, I hope everybody who is thinking New Year, New Me knows that they can go fuck themselves. Because I hate to tell you about the passage of time, bro, but the calendar flipping over should not be the time that you decide to start doing new shit. It's the time to start doing new shit if you got plans towards the ends of the year that require other people because everybody's trying to be with their families at this time. That's the only thing that should be waiting till after the new year. I mean, maybe some shopping should wait till after the new year. Like practical shit should wait till after the new year. But your plans, your planning, or your execution of them that is like a long time coming should not be waiting till after the new year. You should have started that shit 2-3 weeks ago. Let's not play these dumb games anymore. We're all adults. We all know better. Yeah. And if you're gonna be out in public and wilding, go ahead and take the vaccine. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. I want people to be safe by any means necessary. Stay home, and if you're not gonna stay home, go ahead and get that shot and the follow-up and still wear your mask. Final thoughts, John?
I'm at a loss for words. Hold on. Just give me a second. This has been another episode of the Shitpost Boys podcast. And once again, our sponsor is Shut the Fuck Up. It's fucking free. It's fucking free. You don't have to pay shit for. We will pay you to take some of this shit. Just shut the fuck up.
And we're also
Look,
offering
if
drone
you
delivery
got
if you live in
pro-
remote places.
If you have a problem with someone at your job, shut the fuck up. If you're having a problem with your spouse, shut the fuck up. If you're having a problem with your local, state, or national politicians, I'm sorry, but we want you to shut the fuck up. If you have dreams, goals, and aspirations that will possibly lead to the greater good for all humankind, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. It doesn't matter. Shut the fuck up. Once again, Shitpost Boys podcast is being brought to you by our sponsors at Shut the Fuck Up. Free overnight delivery. You don't have to wait.
Same day
long
delivery,
at
depending
all.
on the market.
Exactly. That's all I had to say.
Fair enough. And that was the perfect time to plug that. Moving into 2021. Anything you were thinking about saying as far as 2021 goes, or New Year's resolutions, or the various other things that you may be thinking it's time to start saying? Instead, just shut the fuck up. Just do it. Do it. Still do it. But shut the fuck up about it. We honestly don't want to hear about it for the 8th time. Like, you don't have to be a conformist. It doesn't have to be that. That doesn't. I know y'all are following the algorithms. We follow the algorithms like everybody else. But at the same time, there's just certain shit that's not gonna really do much in the first place to move the needle. So in those particular cases, make sure you sit down at your desk, whether it be at work, whether you're working from home. Open up that bottom drawer, the drawer. And just go ahead and pull a big, huge chunk of shut the fuck up out it. And just, consider doing so. It's not that deep. It's not that important. A lot of the vitriol, a lot of the negativity that you want to talk about or get out or quote unquote leave in 2020, actually leave it in 2020 this time. Just follow your own advice. That's all I can say to the people. All right, I guess I am ready to play the outro music, sir. Any final thoughts that you may have thought about in the meantime? No? Yes?
Yeah. Just shout out to my people, man. Love y'all.
Oh yeah, shout out to the fam. For sure. Who've been holding us down for a little while as far as all of this goes. We don't get a huge amount of views, but we definitely get more views than just like the handful of people we know, and I'm thankful for that. So, all right, let's go ahead and do our thing. Shitpost Boys, last podcast of 2020, technically, if you want to put it that way. We're out of here.
Yeah.
Last year of 2020. Let's go.